shit, forgot to turn the mic on. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. My eye's burning. Got a damn thunderstorm going on. Outside, but it'll pass soon enough. With any luck at all, we won't have any problems. So let's say hi to everybody and see how things are going. Let's see, who got the cookie? Looks like Quadimozo did. Well, this thing doing this shit again? John Nippenberg, he got the half cookie. Good to see you, John. Tom Grass, he got the crumbs. Good to see you, Tom. I should have did it again. Come on. Let's see, that Train Guy 94. Thomas, how you doing? Good to see you. Derek Alexander. He's gone, but he'll be back soon. That's cool. DWM Trains Dave. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you. Chuck Schreiber. Good to see you, Chuck. Glad you're here. John's Grilling Burgers. He said he'll be back, so we'll see you when you get here. And that's it. That's everybody. Man, my eye is burning like a motherfucker today. Ugh. I have no idea why. Anyway, we got an interesting show tonight. I have some videos to show what I've been doing. We'll get to that in a little while. Departure is delayed an hour. I'm here. Okay, that's cool. Derek, you going somewhere? Or are you still at work? I'm not sure. Well, you'll figure it out. Alright, so anyway, I've been busy all week. You don't believe me, ask my wife. She said, oh, you're not damn shit. Yeah, unfortunately I am, but I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot done this week, and you'll see it in the 2 videos, which I'll put on soon. I'm not going to show you what it looks like just yet. I'll wait till the videos are done. It looks good, and it's not even finished yet, but we're getting there. Right now I'm printing a new highway bridge, which you can't see. Well, not really too well. I only get it to show you what part of I'm printing. This is pretty long. I have to do it in sections, and I'll assemble the sections after they're done. But this is what we got here. This is a highway for the cars. It'll be going in the same area in front of the Total Mountain Assembly. I also ordered some highways and byways, road lines, so I can, line them up. I've got to paint all this yet. I'll probably paint everything to look like concrete, and then do the blacktop on the road, or maybe I'll do the concrete on that too. Most bridges have concrete roads, so. Is Quasimodo in here? No, not yet. But anyway, I've got to make three of these. These are 10 inches long. And I've got to make the second one, the last one, which I think is 6 inches long. I already got it all figured out. I just have to print it when the time comes. I'm printing the third one of these right now. And after that's done in about 40 minutes, I'll go ahead and start printing the short one. Now I've been doing a lot of other printing too. I printed a fence to go around the Pepsi plant. When we go back there after I show the videos, We'll go back there and take a look and see what I'm doing. I can't get this damn camera right either. And that's better. He took the cookie and ran. Yeah, he usually does, Chuck. I don't know if he just doesn't want to get in the chat. He might be watching, I don't know. Or he might have just said, you know, grab the cookie and run. You know, Spike Man was complaining about it earlier. I'll go ahead and bring up what he said here. Here somewhere. I can't find it now, right? Oh, here it is. Thomas says, every time you go live, Jim, Quasi don't come out here. So I wrote him back and I said, well, maybe he's just hungry for the cookie, Thomas. He might be, you never know. Yeah, the rain's, it's been raining pretty hard for about the last half an hour or so. It was thunder and lightning. It was really bad a little while ago, but thank God it hasn't kicked the power off yet, you know. And it should actually be, let me take a look at the map real quick. It's still pretty, stupid map locks up on me, I don't know why. Yeah, it's almost over. So, we'll see. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, we haven't had any rain for 2 days straight. Then, of course, my show comes on and past a thunderstorm, you know. Like Murphy's Law. Hey, Dwight, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Curly Express. I watched your video today. I thought it was pretty good. Looks like you're redoing your whole layout, which is cool. Now we'll have to keep an eye on what you're doing there. It's looking good. So anyway, you know, I've been lucky because I bought stuff some time back that I didn't actually need, but I figured I would need one day, and here's a good example. I had this in my drawer. It was brand new, full. I used some of it and watered it down to do the static grass back there in that corner by the mountain. But I bought this back in, is there a date on this? I bet you I bought this 3 or 4 years ago. It's still good. You know, it's still got a proper consistency. And I probably paid like $3 or $4 for this, you know. If you buy it today, it's a lot more expensive. So I did that a lot with a lot of stuff, you know, 2, 3, 4, even 5 years ago. And I'm just now starting to use some of it. But I'm glad I bought it because, you know, you have this innate idea that you're going to use stuff. And you buy it because, you know, you had the extra money and you figured, hey, you know, I probably ought to get some of that just in case. Hey, Ray Central, how you doing, Ray? Good to see you here. So, there was quite a few things that I bought that actually... Hey, passing by you, Rusty. What's going on, man? Good to see you here. So, I mean, it's a good thing that I bought some things, you know, way back when it was cheap. Because, you know, it's all about saving money now. I mean, I really have to watch my finances. For example, I just bought a 16-ounce jar of Mod Podge. You know, I poured the water back there in the lake, the fake water, and I want to give it a little bit of wave action. So I figured, you know, I had Mod Podge, but I must have used it up. So I went ahead and bought another one. That shit was $8 for a small bottle of it, you know. You know, last time I bought it was like $3. Then I had to buy people. I don't have any beach people at all. I got the cheap Chinese people I got, you know, from China. HO scale. So, I actually went to Temu, or Temu, however the hell you're supposed to say it. And they actually didn't have very good deals there. So I said, alright, well, let me check Amazon. Amazon was just as bad. I said, alright, we'll go to the old standby, you know, Evil Bay. I went to eBay and, yeah, I'm on OBS. Should be doing pretty good. We're in the green today. So far. So I went on eBay and I found 40 187th scale, which is HO, beach figures for $16. And of course I had to pay $3 shipping on it. It's coming out of California. It'll be here on the 25th, supposedly. But I had to buy them. I mean, you know, it's just the way it goes. Now, if I wasn't so picky, I could have got 175th scale, which I don't know what the fuck that is. That'd be what, a little bit bigger? Is that bigger or smaller than 187? I'm not sure. I could have got those for like $3. For like 50 of them. But I don't like screwing around with different scales, so I feel we'll just stick with the 187 scale. So I went ahead and ordered them. So I've got two things that are ordered, and I got something else that I ordered too. What the hell was it? Shit, what was it? The Mod Podge, the figures. Oh yeah, highways and byways. That shit wasn't cheap either. I just got the yellow and white stripes. I didn't get the combo package. It was a little cheaper, but you get less of what you actually need. I'm going to need a lot more striping. So I went ahead and I bought two individual packs. Each pack was $7.99. I got it at Yankee Dabbler. Now the price of that wasn't terrible. The shipping, on the other hand. So I've got, what's $16 roughly in actual product. The fucking shipping was $12. Then there's sales tax. That was another $1.82. So by the time I got through, it was like $22. Or no, it was more than that. It was $27. It was expensive. But I had to have it, so I mean there's no way around it. Not really. I could have hand drawn them in with the paint pens, but that would have been a pain in the ass. What is that symbol in front of your hello to me? Oh yeah, I've seen those too. I don't have that on my keyboard. I've never seen it anyway. Hey, Quasimodo, there he is. Yeah, your ears were probably ringing because we were talking about you. Spike Man was complaining you come over just to get the cookie and then you never come back. I said, that's not true. And maybe he was hungry anyway. Anyway, glad to see you here. I only seen it on Rusty Comment. Oh, that symbol? Some of you guys have actually done it. I don't know how. I guess it must be on a keyboard to some degree, but I don't have it on mine. I've never seen it anyway. No, I don't really care. So anyway, that's the Jim. You shouldn't have been bragging. You was lagging. Am I lagging? In the green, it shouldn't be. I mean, everything looks good there. I'm looking at my phone, which I'm acting as a monitor. That seems pretty good. What the fuck is that, man? Tom Grassi. Okay, we got a dollar sign, a yen sign from China, and 2 arrows. So it's like converting dollars into yen or yuan, however that's pronounced. I don't know how the hell you get that on your keyboard, though. I don't have that. Oh, then we got the snake and staff. What do you got going over there, Tom? How you doing those symbols? You change the language on your keyboard somehow? I don't know. Anyway, I'll probably leave these things on. I can see better with them. Jim Zelmer's glue is so old they used to make peeling skin with it. Ah, no, it works good, man. I mean, it was sealed. You know, I had to break the seal on the inside. I never used it. You know, it was brand new. But like 2 or 3 years old. Well, and I keep it in the drawer. It's cool. So as long as it doesn't get excessive heat and the seal isn't broken, I'm sure the shelf life is pretty long on it. I mean, I'm glad it worked because I mean, it was sucked to buy a new one because I think I was in Walmart last year and they had that same one for $8. I know I got it way cheaper than that, so that's ridiculous. Anyway, because I've got a couple of small bottles of Elmer's and I got one that I got to thin down. It's almost like cement, you know. It's pretty old too, but it's not sealed. You know, you got the cap on it, but that's it. It is what it is. But I say I thinned it down. Well, I thinned down separate stuff. Painted the foam with it, and then did the static grass. It did a beautiful job. You know, you might have already seen it. No, you haven't seen because that's the video I'm going to show you, which we're going to do here in a minute or two. So they're kind of long. The first one I think is 31 minutes long, and the second one's like 27 or something like that. But I got a lot done, so, and I did, you know, speed up some of it. Because really it's, you know, hours long if I didn't speed it up or, you know, edit it thoroughly. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the first one. And you guys enjoy this. And if you have any questions, I'll watch the chat. I could type on the chat to give answers. So here we go. Alright, here we are. It's Saturday. We're going to replace this section here with first a piece of foam and then foil over it. I already cut this piece out. It sets in there pretty nicely. And now we just got to glue it in. If I can get the top off. Really no easy way to do this. I think this will work. Yeah, it will. Okay, I need to get something to press against that. Something fairly heavy. Poor little drill work. Unfortunately, it takes almost, I think it's like 15 hours for this stuff to dry, which is fine, I guess. And once this is dry and set, I'll have to glue the top a little bit. And then I've got to cover it with foil. Spray paint it brown, same as the rest. And then I think we'll get some silicone in here. And then mask off. And then go ahead and do the grass. The static grass. So there's quite a bit that needs to be done, and it's going to take a couple of days to do it. So that's where we're at right now. We'll let this set overnight and dry, and tackle some more tomorrow. I'll be right back. Well, tomorrow anyway. Alright, here we are. It's Saturday. No, it's Sunday. Get my days messed up here. I'm doing the foil part over here. It's a little tricky. Of course, if I break this part off, I'll re-glue it. I'll tell you what, it's a little tricky working with this stuff a little bit because it's kind of fragile. But short of that, it is somewhat easy to work with. I should probably pull this back out of here. It's really not suitable at the moment. I have to put a little piece of foil on the edge there, but I'm going to lift that up, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that. Perfect. Alright, I have to get a little piece to put over there. I'll probably shut the camera down for a minute while I'm doing that because it's going to require a lot of editing. When I come back with the camera on, we'll go ahead and paint that and go from there. So stay tuned. Alright, here we go. Do a little bit of painting here. There we go. Looks good. Alright, now we're going to let that dry. And the next thing we'll do it, well, I'm going to mask off over here. Now we're going to spray that down with clear. There we go. Oh, well, I gotta let that dry a little bit before we continue on. Then after that dries, then I'll spray the clear on there and we'll do some static grass application. And that should be just fine. Putting it on real thick. That way we'll get good coverage with it. Alright. and put this stuff on real heavy. As heavy as we can anyway. Of course, the beauty of the Elmer's is it dries clear. We won't see any of it once it's dry. I think there's quite a bit on there. Let me go get my glasses so I can see it better. Oh yeah, that looks real good. Yep, that looks real good. I should probably go ahead and do the other side while I'm thinking about it, huh? I have to move the camera a little bit though, I think. glue. Alright. I think we got it. So once that dry, then we'll pull the tape up. And then we'll start putting things back together. I was thinking about putting maybe some grass on that mountain there, but I'd rather not. I think it looks better the way it is. Let's see, there's a whole lot that needs to go back down in there now. We've got stuff like this sign can go right back in. Lake Joe. I have no idea where that went. We'll have to probably drill some new holes for it. Now we got picnic tables, people. I think I'm going to print a new barbecue grill. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go look for one now and get it printed up possibly. So I've got this one here, which I may use it, you know, and but still make another one. This one I've had for about 20 years. It's really old, but it's still usable. So we'll see. Well, let's see if I have something maybe a little more modern. I don't know. We'll go from there. We'll figure it out. But we're getting there, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this back off. Don't have to worry about covering it now. Set that, well, I'll have to move it again anyway to get the tape up, but that's basically where it's going to be. So it's looking pretty good, huh? Alright, well, I'll tip that camera up just a little bit. I'm going to shut the camera off. I'll come back when we're ready to do some more work on it. Some of this stuff taken off of here. Alright, there we go. That takes care of all that. I have to glue these ladders back on. Now, the good news is I could put this back in place. That's good. Alright, and I can't put the boats in the water till I pour the water. That's probably going to happen tomorrow. I hate this chair. Totally worthless. So I could actually put all the picnic tables down and stuff if I wanted. I could probably run this track too, actually, a little bit. There's so much to do. And I'm not sure which to do first. Oh yeah, I gotta put this sign back in, don't I? The question is, where are them holes at? Actually, I should put this over here. Right? I don't know. I'm going to put it right over here. There we go. Lake Joe, we'll leave that where it's at. And I did find some grills that I'm printing up now. I think they'll be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're just gonna go ahead and print them up, and once I get them painted up, we'll see what they look like. I'm gonna put maybe 3 of those there. I don't know if I'm gonna put anything on this side or not. I'm gonna have to build something so that they can actually get down here. That doesn't even exist, really. There's a person relaxing. There. I've got some benches too. We'll put benches back here. Two of them. Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Let's see what else. So I still got a lot of picnic tables, but I think I don't want to put too many of them out. I don't want it to get too crowded. Put them like that. I think that's plenty right there. And I gotta find. I gotta go through my people and see what I want to put up there. Yeah, maybe put that guy there. Come on, glue, come out of there. There we go. That's good. Yeah, I could use this grill here. Put them, I don't know where to put this, maybe right over here. That'll work. I'd like to get more grills down here, because I remember going to a park a long time ago on the beach, and they had several grills so that, you know, people, you know, so you would be stuck with just one grill so other people can barbecue simultaneously. So listen, I gotta paint up the other ones I've got. I almost wish I could duplicate that one, but I don't know. I ain't gonna worry about it. So it's getting there, though. I said once the water is poured and the boats are in place, I think that'll be pretty good. I gotta glue that ladder back on too when I get a chance. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Actually, I originally had 3 ladders on there, and all 3 of them fell off. I don't know why. So maybe I'll put them back on. There's the second one. Where'd the other one go? Now the other one's somewhere. I'll have to dig it up. But that don't look too bad. So, like I said, we'll have to see what else we could put on there. I don't want to get crazy with anything. I should paint these picnic benches brown, huh? They look kind of stupid gray. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put those in a paint booth and paint them brown. That'll look much better. Alright, that's it for now. I'm going to shut the camera off, and we'll pick this back up tomorrow and see what else we can do. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. There'll be more. Alright, well, I didn't do any of this on camera, but that's alright. I'll be pouring the lake on camera. I just wanted to get all this stuff settled in. You'll see there's a walkway now, a stairwell that gets you up to the top, because I figure, well, how'd the people get down there? So we've got that. We've got the Lake Joe sign. Got a couple of park benches. Got 5 picnic tables. There's a recliner with a woman laying down in it. And a guy just wandering around. Another guy tending to his barbecue. The 3 silver barbecues are new. And of course the boathouse, or fishing boating dock, I guess you'd call it. So now it's just a matter of pouring the water, really. And that's probably going to be tomorrow's big option. Today's Monday, by the way. And I've got to go vote tomorrow, so when I get back from voting, we'll get back into this. It's starting to look pretty good, though. So stay tuned, there'll be more. Alright, here we are. And that set on loop again. I gotta remember to turn that loop off. Anyway, that's the first video, and I said it's kind of long, 30 minutes, but it gives you an idea what's going on. You guys have some really good ideas. Yeah, the mic's on. Should be, anyway. Can you guys hear me all right? I hope so. Can you hear me? That's a lot of steps for an old man like me. Well, I'm not exactly young either, you know. And I'll tell you, I really pushed myself because, you know, I'm disabled and all, but thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Derek. So, the bird shit I don't know about, man. That would be kind of gross. I can do it, though. Thanks, Dave. Well, I don't know, we'll see. But I like the idea, putting the 2 benches together. We're going to go back there and do that after you watch the second video. We're going to walk back there. I'll turn the camera on and the mic back there, and we'll get an idea what's going on. I could point out some things that I didn't film. So, I guess without any further ado, we should do the second video. Is not too terribly long. I think it's right around 20 minutes. It says mostly pouring the water. I was nervous doing it. I've done it before, but this is the first time I tinted it, and I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And I ran out of the first one, which was 32 ounces, but I had 2 16-ounce ones, so I used one of the 16s, but it was a different brand. And I wasn't sure if they were going to, you know, play nice with each other. They did, but I was a little sketchy about it. You know, that could have been a whole big clusterfuck. Thank God it wasn't. So anyway, I'll let you watch it, and you can see for yourself. Here we go. Alright, today is Tuesday. It's 3:15 p.m. And I'm getting ready to pour the fake water. I hope this stuff is still good. I've had it quite a while. But we'll see. Now we've got the activator and the resin. And we've got our measuring cup that holds 32 ounces, which is about what these two are going to amount to. There's 16 ounces each. And hopefully I don't screw this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the resin in first. The whole bottle. And I'm going to tint it. Might take a bit. This stuff's pretty thick, which I guess is a good thing. Not quite 16 ounces. We're getting there, though. A little bit more, we'll get the whole 16. Come on, you can do it. Getting this right is very important. Alright. Now, I've got some blue here. Airbrush colors. I'm guessing that just a few drops. We'll try 2 drops and see what happens. It doesn't look like it's going to do anything. No, we're going to need more than 2 drops. We'll try that and see what happens. There we go. See, we got a nice blue tint to it now. That looks almost like water, doesn't it? That's what I wanted to do, because even though I pre-painted the bottom of the lake, which is right here, I'd still like to have a bluer water, so we're going to go with that. Okay, now we can go ahead and pour in the activator. All right. And we have to mix this for like 3 minutes. Long time, by the way. It's very important to get this stirred in. I should open the door too. They say to use it. I can't smell anything, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have an odor. So we're going to open the door just for some good ventilation, because we don't want to take any chances. I don't have a mask, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to use one. Just have to keep stirring and stirring and stirring. And I've got to walk this all the way back down there and not spill any. I'm sure it will be a neat trick all on its own. It's got that good murky look to it, though. I like that. I think that's going to be a good tint. I've been mixing it now, I think, for a little over a minute. I gotta switch over cameras. We're gonna go to out there, and I'm also gonna switch over microphones. I think I may need more. Fortunately, I have more. I'm gonna go mix up some more. Alright, we're back over here. Now this is a little different brand, but it should still be alright, so basically it works the same. So we're going to go ahead and drop it in there. This is only 16 ounces total. That's okay. We're going to put more glue in. Mix it in real good. Just mix this up real good. All right, back up here and we'll go back here. Hey, switch mics again. Pouring the water.
Are you good? Is it ready?
Yeah, I'm pouring more though.
Just doing waves, not globs. Maybe a stick and stir it like popsicle stick and like go through it. Can you do that?
Probably.
You got a stick?
Well, yeah, go.
No, sideways.
But
Sideways,
you can't do waves.
left to right.
You can't do waves. I don't know
Left
what
to
you're
right
talking
anyway.
about.
You're going like there. Leave that empty spaces. I want empty spaces like. There you go. Stop going up and down. About that edge. Bring it up a little. There's too much of a line.
That's fine. So I'm going to go back over
Looks
this.
like the river's running up. Water doesn't run up. Only Lake John. You call it Lake Joe, not Lake John.
Alright, so now we got it done. And I'm back over here at the desk. Ah, I voted today, see that? Right there. And yes, I did vote for James Fishback. You guys won't see this until Thursday, so the elections will be long over, but that's alright. So I've got the cover over that now. You can see the cover over there. I'll wait about an hour or so. Then I'll set the boats. So I want to get them in the water, not necessarily sitting on top of the water. Especially the speedboat, it needs to go down in the water just a little bit. So I'm thinking about an hour we'll check it back out. And I'll put the camera on and record at the same time. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and stop the recording until I'm ready to put the boats in. So stay tuned. Alright, as you can see, it's only 5 o'clock. It's been a little over an hour since I poured the water. It's already practically rock hard. Supposed to take 8 hours to be able to touch it, but it looks like it's curing a lot quicker. Well, anyway, I got the boats in there. I put 3 empty canoes in. You can see them next to the fishing dock. Got 2 canoes in the water, and the speedboat's also in the water. Can't see it too good from here. I also ordered some Mod Podge, so I'm going to put some a little bit of wave action in on the lake. Not much, just a little. And I also ordered some beach people. I got 40 of them ordered from eBay. And I'll probably use the good majority of them on this scene. We'll also get some on the stairs going down. We'll probably put some parked cars up top. So, and of course, I got to put the roadway in yet too, but I'll wait on that until we get the scene finished. But it's coming along pretty good. And in fact, I'm very happy with the poured water. I did it in 2 steps. And so I've got a little bit of different color variation in there. Some of it's a little bluer than other, which is fine. Which is what I was going for anyway. So everything came out good. I'm real happy with it. Anyway, stay tuned for more. I don't know if I'll show this one this week or maybe next week, because the video I've got shown for Thursday coming up is it's pretty long, 30-some minutes. I don't know why I'm telling you this. You won't know it till you see it anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more. Alright. Alright, there we go. A nudist colony. Now, I got the nude lake up here, man. I only have one of those. And flamingos and upside down pineapples. That's a little weird. Yeah, Chuck, the boss, was checking up on me. She thought she knew more than I did. She really didn't, but I mean, it was helpful a little bit. And sometimes she had some really good advice. Other times, not so much. Like I said, what I was doing with the water was purely experimental on my part anyway. Like I said, and I was worried that there might be, you know, like you said, the two different brands not playing nice. Thank God that didn't happen. But well, that's what I said, Ken, and that was what I wanted to do. Probably mostly by accident, but it still came out pretty good. Now we're gonna go back there in a minute. I'll switch over cameras and microphones, and amazingly, that microphone on the camera back there works fairly decent. I mean, you can actually hear me heavy breathing half the time. Now, that wasn't our missing measuring cup. I bought three or four of those. I don't remember. I used the other ones already. But I got them at the dollar store. They were $1 each. Yeah, they're plastic. I mean, I bought a nice glass one, Pyrex one for in the house. I wouldn't dare touch that. Because once you use these things for that, they're garbage afterwards. So I got to go out and buy a couple more because I still have another lake to pour close to this side on the left, but that's going to be a ways down the road. I actually did pour it once. I didn't like the way it came out, so I'm going to put a thin layer on top of it, and I'm going to use the same tinting technique, and it should come out about the same. We'll see. But that stuff is tricky to work with, and Jim would get his ass kicked. Yeah, maybe. I had to seal everything back there too, so I had the clear silicone that I bought from China, and I sealed everything all the ways around. I even raised up the fascia because it was almost level with the foam, and I said, well, that's not good, and I didn't trust tape to be a barrier, so I went and unscrewed it and raised it 1/8 of an inch. Or almost 1/4 of an inch, and that worked out pretty good. So anyway, without further ado, let's go back there and take a look and see what the hell is going on. Let me turn that microphone on, and I'll bring my phone back there so I can read the chat while I'm back there because I can't see the screen from all the way back there. Let's see here, overhead cam, there we go, okay. Oh, you hear me clomping back here, right? Alright. So, this actually came out pretty good. So I want to put the Mod Podge on there to, not a whole lot of waves, but just a little bit of ripples here and there to smooth it out a little bit. But it actually came out pretty good, and it is multicolored. These are the gas grills. They might be too big. I might have to scale them down some more. They do look a little large. Picnic tables, let's see, we're going to have to put 2 of them together. There we go. This one over here. When I get the people in about another week, there's some sitting people, I'll put them on the benches. A lot of people are standing, and there's some swimmers, but I won't be using the swimmers because they have to literally be put in the water. It's too late for that. This is all hard as a rock. I'll tell you, this shit cured up literally in about an hour and a half. I mean, it's rock solid, so that worked out pretty good. The grass came out nice. I'm happy with that. There's the Lake Joe sign. Got a lady sitting on the bench. There's a couple over there, lovers, I guess. They're hanging out on the beach. Lady laying on the thing there, and this woman there, I guess she's saying hi to the boaters or something. The speedboat came out pretty good too. I don't know, it doesn't fill them well. But it's actually a two-tone paint job, and I used gold metallic and a like a brownish metallic. It actually looks pretty good. Darker colors on the bottom, the light gold is on the top. And I might make a couple more of those for the other lake. We'll see yet. Let's see here. I started putting the track down. This is for the short line. It's got to go all the way around back over there. I'll get that put in probably in the next couple of days as well. And I'm thinking about maybe dry brushing some light white or real light gray on the rocks all the ways around, just to give it a little definition. I mean, I didn't do it there, but it looked kind of like I did. So it came out real nice, and I'm going to try and duplicate that effect. Now over here, oops, I hope you can see all this stuff all right. Without looking at the monitor, I'm guessing where the camera is pointed. Right here, I went ahead. I mean, I got to glue these pieces together yet, but I went ahead and printed this fence. It's supposed to be see-through, but it's not. And that's okay. It'll work out anyway. And there's going to be like a parking area here for the people that go down there. These are the steps to get to it. Boy, I had a hell of a time making those things. Now there's also, like I said, a road bridge that goes across here. And I'm in the process of printing that now. That'll probably be ready to put in place in 2 days. I guess it really depends upon when I get the road striping in, because I ordered, like I said, I ordered the white striping and the yellow, and I'll continue what I started doing here. And that's really about it for that. Well, thanks, Dwight. I appreciate that. I have 2 coffee grinders, one for coffee, the other for mine. I've got one too, believe it or not. I found one in a garage sale. I paid $2 for it. It's a small one. And I use it for grinding up leaves and stuff so I can get like miniature leaves. It actually works pretty good for that. I can't remember who gave me the idea to do that. Maybe I saw it somewhere. But I went ahead and, like I said, I was in a garage sale. It was a garage sale. And I saw it there and I said, what do you want for that? She said, I'll give you $2. I said, yeah, $2, I'll take it. It works great, you know, it's electric. It's okay, I would never knew what an upside down pineapple meant. Until one of my swinger neighbors told me. You'll have to let us in on that one. I'm not familiar with it. Wife asked me for coffee. Wife asked me for coffee grinds, or coffee grinder. Told me, she said, throw it away. And I was using it to grind leaves for layout. That was an interesting conversation, I'm sure it was. Well, and it works great though. I mean, like I said, I went out and gathered up some leaves, which I got millions of, and threw them in the grinder, grind them for a few minutes, and it ground down to I don't want to say a fine dust, but it actually looks like, you know, dried brush, dried leaves or whatever. So I think it works pretty good. I used them somewhere, I thought. Or maybe I was back. That was back to the old layout. I haven't yet to use them here yet, but I will. Hey, Darren Hamill, how you doing? Good to see you here, man. We're all doing good. Looking good, but I can't hear you. Okay, well, let me walk over to the other microphone. We'll We'll switch cameras again. You know, I have a wireless portable microphone that I could wear. I'll have to set it up because I've got to plug it in the computer to use it. But it is wireless. Let's see here. Let me go back to... Oh, yeah, I got a good picture there, didn't I? I first started using one about 12 years ago to large open house guy was using it at the time. That's pretty slick. Hey, Grandpa Rails, JD, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. I don't know what the hell that symbol means either. It's weird. And I don't know how you put it on there. So apparently, it must be common somehow because you're like the third person to do it tonight. I have no idea how to do it or even what the hell it means. Who knows? Not important, I guess. Try and get this camera set up right here. So, anyway, so that's what the hell I've been doing. Like I said, I've been busy with printing and whatever. Matter of fact, that other print just quit. Let me pull it off the plate. There it is right here. I designed this, by the way. This is not something that I got off the internet. I just sat down and kind of made a quick design and it actually worked pretty good. Alright, so this is what I had on there, and this is actually a piece of that, I think it's cement board or concrete board. I had it laying around and it just happened to be the right width. And I had those sides that were from Woodland Scenics or someplace. Oh. If I can do this without busting my ass. There we go. Yeah, that could be, Ray. I didn't even think of that. It is simple on YouTube in the chat. You have emotes, add emotes. Oh, okay. So that's an emoji then. Now that makes sense. The Prince love symbol. Okay, you guys are weird. I don't fool that AI too much, man. I think it's a little weird myself, but so anyway, give me a minute here. Let me restart the thing there and do this other one on here. Delete that. Import. Alright, that's in downloads. Bridgespan 2. There we go. Slice plate. And print plate. And send it to the printer. Alright, there we go. Now it'll start up and we'll be good to go. Let me check and see how long that's going to take. No telling. An hour and 20 minutes. That's not too bad. That'll work. Like I said, tomorrow I'll paint it up, and it wasn't a bad word. Artificial incompetence. That's about the same. That's about the size of it, Ray. I didn't type that symbol. It replaced the word on its own. Okay, that's weird. I don't know. You know, I was reading an article today that Microsoft is making silent changes and resetting things on your computer if you're running Windows. It could be 10 or 11, doesn't matter. Because I've noticed some of my settings have changed, and I'm trying to figure out how. I've got all the updates are turned off, but it doesn't matter. Hey, Jack, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. It pisses me off. It's supposed to be my computer, and Microsoft's got no damn business screwing with it, right? But yet they are. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, here's a funny picture I caught. It was so funny I had to post it. I thought that was funny. Yeah, I could do that. I'll send it to you after the show, Tom. It's in a what do you call it? God damn it! It's a big. It's not a big file, but it's compressed. And it's got all the different drawers in the actual case, and you could decide which ones you want to print. Tom says, Jim, my settings do not change in my Windows settings. You're lucky, because mine has, and I've been reading that a lot of people are complaining that they do. And Microsoft sort of admitted it, you know. They ought to run Microsoft out of the damn country, maybe even off the planet. Hey, you like that shirt, Ray? A zip file, that's it. It's in a zip file. I'll send it to you after the show. I couldn't remember that. I tell you, my mind's going, man. All right, Ken, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy your dinner. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Dave says, I think I might have dropped my phone one too many times. That's possible. I haven't dropped my phone. No, I've never dropped my phone. Oh, it's one of those ones that you can throw it on the ground. I think you can drop it from a distance of like 18 foot and it won't hurt it. It's also waterproof, which is cool too. And I have actually run it underwater. I wanted to wash the screen, and I figured I'll just throw it under the sink, and didn't hurt it any, you know. No, anyway, but so I'm trying to think of anything else I might want to print. I don't know to put back there yet. Like I said, I'm kind of going as I go. Ideas pop in and like, oh, okay, we'll do that. Like I said, I wanted to change the highway bridge. That was fine, but it's just not that great, you know. I wanted something a little more modern, and I like the idea of printing stuff. Now I have to, I'm going to probably have to do it underneath, put some bracing underneath of it, you know, flat plastic sheets, and glue it together, and that'll make it rigid. So we'll see. But it's going to look pretty good. I mean, you know. Yeah, I was careful also with the measurements. And that's another thing. I'm getting much better at measuring things. I mean, a volleyball net. Okay. Yeah, because I'm very good at reading a ruler. That's not a problem. But sometimes I tend to get sloppy when I make measurements, and I'm being a lot more careful now. And of course, you know, one of these days I'm going to buy another ruler. I got this metal one. It's a model railroad reference ruler. Stainless steel. Does O gauge, S gauge, HO gauge, It doesn't do it. Yeah, it does N gauge too. And a lot of the shit I don't even use. Like it tell you, like for N gauge, 1.92 millimeters equals 1 foot at 1/60th scale, which is handy to know. But the actual millimeter reading on there is 0 to 100 millimeters between my two fingers. I wish I had one that did like 200 or 300 millimeters. It'd be easier because this is, if I'm making something that's bigger than 100 millimeters long, I have to fuck around with it to get it right. It also has this has a lot of cool stuff on it. Drill sizes, tap sizes, decimal equivalents for number drills. I don't know, I bought this thing a long damn time ago. I've had it forever. I'd like to find an aluminum ruler that has just millimeters on. I've got one in the house, got centimeters. I hate centimeters. It's confusing to me. I need to get one with millimeters. That's about as metric as I want to get with this stuff, Used to be good at reading my ruler, then my ex corrected me. There you go. Yeah, I hear you, man. Now, I don't know. So that's the plan anyways. Like I said, it is coming along. I do a little bit each day as much as I can. And of course, a lot of times, waiting on prints or waiting for glue to dry or waiting for the paint to dry or waiting for the water to dry. Just, it's always waiting. And, but that's the way it goes. So at least I'm making progress, and then I really do feel energized on it. It's kind of weird, like I'm on a mission. You gotta get it done, but you gotta get it done right. So I still got to do the background scenery back there. Like I said, I've got a piece of cardboard. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, you can see it on the upper left-hand corner of the screen. That's a cardboard box that I actually stapled to the wall. Because it's squaring it off. I couldn't reach back there anyway, so this way I can at least reach back there a little bit. It's not squared off, it's rounded. So I think I'm going to take the airbrush and do a mountain scene along with some clouds and sky. And so I've gotten pretty good at that, so we'll see how it goes. And I also want to put some foam board between the cardboard and the mountain, which you can't really see from here, but on both sides of the mountain to fill in the gap behind the mountain. And I'll do the same thing there, do the mountain scene and maybe a little bit of sky and some clouds. We'll see how it all turns out. It should be fine. But like I said, there's a ton of shit to do, Now I've got the tools and equipment to do most of it, so we're doing okay. As I said, the HO scale beach people won't be here, according to tracking, until the 25th, which is about 5 days away. That's assuming it comes on time. The Mod Podge was supposed to be here today. I don't know if it made it here or not, to be honest with you. Yeah, it got delivered. Was it the mailbox, maybe? No, it's to the front door. Okay, I guess the wife didn't see it. That's the Mod Podge and Yankee Dabbler. That's, what did I order from them? Oh, that was the Highways and Byways. That's coming UPS, so I could track that easy enough. Let's see what it says for that. Label created, so they haven't shipped it out yet, really. Stay safe, avoid fraud and scams. Kind of a fucking scam would you get on that? This thing always asks to check my location. I've got my location turned off. None of their damn business. Yeah, so UPS doesn't have the package, they just created a label. Well, hopefully it'll get here. It's supposed to be a 2-day turnaround. And it's already been a day, so I don't think it's going to happen in 2 days. Because that's coming out of New Jersey, I believe. So, we'll see. I've never seen an aluminum ruler with those markings. All I've ever seen is the steel ones. Huh. Pretty sure this is aluminum. It says on there that it is, I believe. Yeah, well, stainless steel, that's close. I don't know where I got aluminum from, but because it's bendy. And I've got one in the house that's got centimeters on it. I don't know where the hell I got that one from. Now, a centimeter is like, what, just over or just under an inch? I don't remember. I don't want to fool with it. I know inches, I know millimeters. All I need to know. Is the steamer part of a static display? Oh, you mean the one that? No, that's the one I built. Well, I bought and I've converted over to look like number 148 on the sugar line. That's a running loco. I've got to put a decoder in it because I want to convert it to DCC. I haven't gotten around to buying that yet, but at some point, because that's going to run with the motor man back and forth on the sugar line on its own. Where did I get the static glass? I don't know. I bought it, like I said, 8 or 9 years ago. I don't know I think I got it on eBay. I was buying a lot of shit on eBay at the time. There's literally nothing on there except for a sticker that says, "Be careful, shock can be serious." And you can tell it's a cheap thing. I mean, it came with 3 screens on the top. It's got the fine and the medium and the coarse. I think I used the coarse one because I get better application with the coarse screen. And you could also plug it into it with a wall wart. They said it runs off a 9-volt battery. I believe I used a 12-volt wall wart on there. But you don't want to get shocked by that fucker with 12 volts. It'd knock you on your ass. That's what she says. You don't know the difference between inches and millimeters. Good one, Ray. And I don't even remember what I paid for it. It wasn't much. I think I got it for like $22. It was under $30. I think it was. I have a vague memory of $22 for it. I know Woodland Scenics has theirs. They want like $80 for theirs, which is ridiculous for what it is, you know. I've seen guys take those $2 bug zappers, you know, the one that looks like a tennis racket, and they use those. As long as you have a ground wire going to it, I guess it'll work. But times they found one on Amazon for $31 on eBay. Yeah, that'll work. That's probably the same one I got. You want to text me a picture of it, and I'll tell you. Well, I can show you the one I got. Let me go get it. It's real basic. I mean, it's not much to it. Mr. Bobo, you follow me around? Got some static grass applicated on you? Probably not. I don't think you'd like that too much. All right. This is the one I got here. Like I said, it's got a sticker on it that says, "Caution, high voltage. Use at your own risk. Follow directions carefully." And the directions might have had a brand name on there, but as you said, it's got an on and off button on the front here. Push button you hold on while you're static applicating. There's a place where you can plug in your wall wart. Yeah, there's not even anything here. See, it's the battery just kind of lays in there like that. That's what you hear knocking around when I was shaking it. Let me get back in there. I said it's for what it is. I mean, it's real simple, and I just got an alligator clip, and I use one of those push pins on it, you know, and it works great. And I haven't really. I think I've only shocked myself twice on it. Once recently on the mountain, I went to pull the ground pin off, and I know I had the damn thing off, but there must have been a little bit of a charge there. Boof, got me pretty good, you know. And then back in Naples, I think I got hit. That one hurt. That was before I got the pacemaker, though. So I didn't really care. I have to be careful. He said, you know, don't get shocked with the pacemaker. It could knock it out. And I'm going, well, you know. I don't know what to think about that. Do you hold the ground and lick the screen part to make sure the battery is good? Hey, you can go ahead and try if you want. I wouldn't do it. Probably fucking kill you. I mean, that thing puts out, I think it's like 20,000 volts. You know, the amps aren't very high. But, you know, it's still, it's a static charge, you know. You ever used to do that shit as a kid? You know, you rub your feet on the carpet, then you go to touch somebody and it zaps them pretty good. It's like worse than that. I used to get shocked all the time in my car. Which one was it? It wasn't this. It wasn't the Grand Marquis. I don't get shocked on that one. Might have been the Beamer I had. Every time I went to grab the door, I'd get fucking zapped. You know, it was static electricity. It's the tires, you know, I guess. They say the tires, you know, the rubbing, the friction causes that. It's constantly, but only during the winter, you know. Constantly getting juiced, man. It was starting to piss me off, you know. Tom says, found one out on eBay out of New Jersey. Well, there you go. That's the one you should get. I thought you had one. You don't have one? They're nice. I mean, you just want to make sure, though, that whatever glue you use, whether you use Elmer's or they have the cement from Woodland Scenics, you want to make sure it's thin enough to where it'll hold the grass strands straight up, or at least long enough to, you know, hold them there. I mean, I was actually even using the clear coat in the spray can, but I did get some melting on the phone, not much. Not enough to really make a difference. Actually looks kind of cool. But that's why I decided on the lake banks to use the Elmer's. I forgot I had it anyway. I was looking in the drawer for something, and there it was. Shit, I had to just use that, you know. So that's, you know, but if you thin it out enough, it works good. I have the Woodland Scenics one. It does not work well for me. Try some. Well, like I said, Elmer's school glue, man. Water it down about, I don't know, maybe 25%. Add 25 parts water to 50 parts of Elmer's glue. And it shouldn't be, it's not real watery, but thin it out enough to where it's like, I don't know, goopy, I guess would be the right word. Take a brush and slather that shit on there. And you got like about a half an hour before it dries. That gives you plenty of time to do your static applicator. I used the Woodland Scenics. I wasn't real impressed with it. I still have a bottle of it. And it's still got the glue in there. It's the original shit, but I didn't use it all, and I didn't like the way it worked either. Ray says, static electricity drives me nuts in the winter. I know, man. Hey, every time you get out of your car, you get fucking juiced, man. That's not fucking fun at all, you know. My problem is it's not sticking, as it does not stand up like I would like it to. Well, That's another reason why I use the foil too. When I did the foil on the mountain, the foil is metallic. And I got really good standing straight up, grass on that. And the foam did all right too, but I used thinner. I think I used 4 millimeter. No, yeah, I think it was 4 millimeter on the lake banks, but I had 6 millimeter on the mountain. And they make it all the way up to 12 millimeter. Problem is, if you use that, one, you want to like supercharge your static applicator. I said I pushed 12 volts through this one. It did a damn good job, But you had to be careful because it was easier to get shocked. I would suggest wearing rubber gloves. Because you got a pacemaker too, so you got to be careful. But on the foam, and then keep your ground needle. Like I said, I just use a push pin. And as a matter of fact, I've had this push pin on there forever. And keep it close to your work, like within, let's say, about 10 inches. So if you get more than 10 inches away from it, naturally you don't get as good a charge. But keep in mind, too, that the water content in the Elmer's glue actually helps the electricity flow better. And maybe that's what makes it work well, too, because it's got a higher water content than the Woodland Scenic stuff does. Like I said, it's worked really well for me. I use foil and parchment paper, still no luck getting it to stand up. Well, if you're trying to do like clumps, or not, that's not the word for it, but yeah, that might be tough to do. I don't know, it should still work though, But you'd probably want to have your ground rod light right next to where you're static applicating at. Tufts, I think is what it's called. You're trying to make tufts. I was thinking about doing that too, but doing it in place rather than on parchment paper. So I had the elevator clip collected to the foil within 6 inches of my work. That should have worked. Like I said, if you get one that's got a port on it to plug in a wall wart like this one does, it's 9 volts because it takes a 9-volt battery. If you put 12 volts in it, it won't kill it. But boy, it supercharges it just quite a bit, Because that's what I did the first time I used it. And I figured, because I don't remember, it didn't work right with the 9-volt battery. Yeah, I tried to make flowers and bushes and stuff. Quasi said I might try making, the Harbor Freight bug zapper. I've heard of people using those and converting them over. There's YouTube videos on how to do it. Something to think about. No, to be honest with you, Tom, I've never tried to make bushes or flowers or tufts, I just did grass on them. And honestly, this is the first time I've got it where it actually worked 100%, because I've used this before. The results were iffy, some of it stood up, a lot of it didn't. What am I doing different? Fuck if I know. Yeah, like I said, I plan on doing more of it in other areas of the layout, so especially now that I know that it works well. So we'll see how it goes, but and one thing too, when I loaded up the holder there, the jar, when I dumped it out of the package, the static grass, I like separated it a little bit, I messed it up because it came out in clumps, and if it's clumping, it may not spread right. So like I just kind of manipulated a little bit to break it up. And that might have made a difference. So I have 2 millimeter, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and 14. And the 12 and 14 do not stand up like I would like it to. You might have to do something different for the glue. I don't know. I don't think 10 or 12 will stand up for long in the Elmers. Unless you use it straight out of the bottle and not break it down. It said 2 and 4 millimeter work fine for me. But yeah, there's areas where I wouldn't mind having like 12 or 14. Maybe I'll buy some next month and experiment with it. You can also try Aleene's tacky glue. You spread it on with a spreader, and that stuff's so tacky that if the stuff stands up when it hits it, it's going to stay stood up for a while, at least until it dries. It dries clear, so that might make a difference. Hey Thomas, how you doing? Now, I would give it a try anyway. Like I said, Aleene's tacky glue. You've seen it in the brown bottle. You can see it right there. And just squeeze it out, but you'll have to use like an applicator or a squeegee, something, to spread it out. Leave it, it don't have to be real thick, but maybe a 1/16 inch thick. Wait a couple of minutes, applicate on it. The stuff hits it right, it should hold it up. But you're looking at 14 millimeter. I mean, that's fucking weeds then. It's like the shit that I got out in my yard. Yeah, it's about like that. Oh. Yeah, that's let's see, that's about 3/4 of an inch, give or take. That's pretty thick. Yeah, that's the stuff. Try it out. I mean, that's a guess on my part, but I would see where the Elmer's is too thin, even at natural consistency, to hold up anything, you know. Like, I've been using the Aleene's. I've got like 4 bottles of the shit, you know. I don't know why I started buying it. I've never used it before. Tom's trains and things. He loves that shit. He builds everything with it, you know. Especially all his wood stuff. But I've been using it like to plant people because it dries clear. And if you stick a person that may or may not want to stand up real well, stick it in there, they stand up and they dry off that way. I think Boomer has a couple of videos on that, not sure. Okay. I'm sure somebody's done it. Somebody must have figured it out. But that would be my best guess. It's something that would tack up enough to hold each strand up. Like I said, 14 millimeter, and that's like, in scale, that's about like this. Yeah. Tester's glue. Problem with that is I think it melts the foam. Unless you get that fucking safe shit, but that safe shit don't work worth the fuck either. So I would not use it. I would use the Aleene's because the Aleene's won't hurt foam if you're gonna do it on foam. So I haven't used Tester's glue since I was a teenager, man. When I used to build model cars, and then they came up with that safe shit. I mean, I never huffed it, but I knew a lot of people that did. But they came out with that lemon-scented one that was non-toxic. Yeah, it was also non-fucking working. Oh, you know. You can still get Tester's glue some places. If you buy that shit in the store or hobby center, they will ID you to get it. You got to be at least 18 to buy it. I kid you not. Same thing with the pressurized cans of air, you know, for like cleaning your computer, you know, air in a can. I bought some in Walmart about a year or so ago. They fucking ID'd me. I'm going, seriously? Do I look like a fucking kid to you? Well, sir, it's the law. Well, you're an idiot, but here's my fucking license, you know. I was like, what? I had to be 57, 58 at the time, you know. It's crazy, you know. It's like, because you can get high off that shit. And first off, if somebody wants to huff something, they'll do it one way or the other, you know. I had a friend who used to go into Publix and huff the Ready Whip cans. because they got Freon in them too as a propellant. He'd go in there and up 4 or 5 cans, come out fucking higher than dog shit, you know? What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Oh, that's a good way to get high. You know, of course, he'd have got busted for shoplifting if they'd have caught him, because he'd have paid for it. What I've been using this Crapworks foam insulation to make mountains. Maybe, I don't know. You can actually shape it up. Okay. There's all kinds of, you know, adhesives out there. Some will work, some won't. Hey, Sparky, what's going on, man? Check his Facebook messages soon. I'll check it because you told me to, but I normally don't check my Facebook. But maybe once or twice a year, you know. But I'll check it tonight after the show. Oh. Hey, I'm not a Facebook guy, man. I don't do it. I've got accounts with everything. Instagram. I don't use the fucking things, but I got them, you know. I guess they're kind of like backups in case something happens, like YouTube goes down or something, but, you know. But yeah, I'll check it. Facebook is all drama. Yeah, it is. Start the holidays next week. What holidays are those? Well, we got September. We got Labor Day. And we got Halloween. I don't know if you guys do Thanksgiving in Canada. And, of course, Christmas. We don't really celebrate the holidays here. We'll cook out for, you know, we'll make a nice Thanksgiving dinner, but that's about it. Oh, that's right, going to Florida to see me. Duh. When are you going to be here again? October, November? I don't even remember what month it was, but whatever, we're ready for you. That's going to be fun too, man. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Hanukkah for Canada. Yeah. Well, they got Hanukkah too here, but, you know, only the Jews celebrate that one. August 30th, okay. That quick, okay. We'll be expecting you then. Cool. Yeah, my fucking mind's out in another place anyway. Like you said, whenever you're ready, just, you know, come on down. Well, you'll need the address stuff, so call me or text me and I'll give it to you when you need it. Jim, Canada call holidays like we call vacations. That's true. Well, England does the same thing. You know. There's a lot of similarities between, you know, Canada and Europe, or UK. Anyway. Hopefully Tom will be back by then. He should be coming back any day now. He's up in Maryland right now, visiting his grandkids and his daughter and all that. In North Florida it does. Not really anything less. I mean, we may get flurries now and then, but nothing sticks. Not yet, anyway. Oh, Tom knows you're coming? Okay. Well, I told him that, you know, you were going to visit, and he wanted to see you, so we'll all get together anyway. He checks his Facebook. That's Tom. I don't check any of that shit, you know. Really, if anybody needs to get a hold of you, either send me an email or a text. You know. I had somebody try to get a hold of me on Instagram, and I saw the message like a year later. I just don't, you know, I don't fool with that stuff. I also have an X account too, but I rarely get on X. So, you know, lately I've been posting on X my Wise Guy videos just for fun. Facebook is too much drama. Well, Facebook is Facebook, you know. It was a big deal at one time. It's kind of gone off the way from. It was not even technically Facebook, isn't it? They call it Meta now, I think. Or am I wrong? I don't know. Who cares? So, anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you, Sparky. That's going to be fun. I just use the Facebook Messenger for some people. I don't watch Facebook stuff. That's cool. Ray says, I deleted my X account. I like to get on X every now and then, but I had a problem there for a while. It wouldn't let me on. Kept saying that there were too many attempts to get on my on my page, and I'm going, well, that's bullshit, because and my computer saves my password, so get right in. But oh no, we got a problem here. You gotta, verify who you are. Why? I know who I am. Not like I'm getting on the tour guide for the Fort Knox or something. That's what I'm saying. This shit is so stupid, It's like the post office. I get that, informed delivery. I call it uninformed delivery. And constantly, when I open up the program, because you can check your mail every day before you get it. It's never right anyway. I mean, it's somewhat right, but not always. This is, we would like you to do, what do they call it? Ah, shit, I can't remember the term they use now. Secondary authentication. I'm going, it's the fucking mail. Who cares? If somebody breaks into my account, have fucking at it, Ain't nothing there I give a shit about, so you'll know what mail I'm getting. Big deal. I mean, it's ridiculous. Same thing, I got a fucking hospital sent me a bill from like 20 years ago, down in Naples. And I went through hell getting to the fucking page to, their website. And I said, I'm not going to pay it anyway. Because it's like from 20 years ago, and it's like, if Social Security didn't pay it, or Medicare didn't pay it, well, fuck you, right? Sparky might find me a CPKC railroad spec. Really? Okay, that's cool. So, I don't know. Ray says Blue Sky. Never heard of it. Like I said, I don't really mess with that shit. I got enough crap going on. I'm in a group on the chat, the text. And that guy's constantly, there's like 4 people in on it. They're blowing up my phone all day long with text messages, I'm half tempted to block them just because it's aggravating. It's a pain in the ass. Thomas says, Ray, you may think your account was deleted, but nothing on the internet gets deleted. That's true. All you did was removing your access to the account. That's what the delete does to your account. It's there. That's true. Nothing ever get. We were talking about that the other night, weren't we, Tom? And nothing's ever actually deleted, You remember, what did they have before Facebook? What was that? Fuck, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was real big. MySpace? I had an account on MySpace. I closed the account before it went under. It's still there. I actually accessed it a couple of years ago. And I'm thinking, I thought the whole thing went defunct anyway, but it really didn't. It still exists, it just nobody uses it, But yes, the digital footprint is still there. We're all fucked, right? That's the way it goes. Stopping in Chattanooga, I hope for the night, huge Norfolk Southern yard there. Oh, cool. Now get pictures, man. Thomas says, Sparky, make sure you ride the Tennessee Valley Railroad. Man, that'd probably be pretty cool, too. Hey, you might bump into my ex-wife. I think she lives outside of Chattanooga somewhere. I don't know. So, are you driving down? I thought you'd be flying. So, you're actually driving down, huh? Cool. I miss the days when I used to drive all over the place, but it's a pain in the ass to do it now. I don't want to, Oh, he's been up my ass. We should go see your sister and brother up in Indiana. Says, yeah, I don't really want to do that drive. 2 days, that's not bad. Like I said, I used to drive to Indiana, Ohio, New Jersey. I've been all up and down. I've been all the way up to Maine before, and as far west as Minnesota and Kansas. Or was it Arkansas? I don't know. It's Kansas. But might be tired when you get there. Well, I got a bed here you can sleep in. I said I got the spare bedroom in the house. It's, got air conditioning and heat in there and everything, so you'll be all right. It's a bunk bed, so you can sleep up top or sleep on the bottom. I think it's got a trundle in it, too, on the very bottom. The incline one is pretty cool. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't get on it because I'm afraid of heights, man, and that just wouldn't work for me. I think I did see it when I was up there, but I wouldn't get on. It's like, there ain't no fucking way I'm riding on that thing. And it looked kind of cool, but, it reminded me too much of, like, an amusement park ride. I don't do those either. The Cog Railway, there you go. Yeah, they got a lot of cool shit all over the place. But like I said, I was in the diamond mine, and I can't remember it could have been Georgia, it could have been Tennessee, I don't remember now. But I brought my sister down to see her dad before he passed, our dad rather. And we stopped at a couple of things. We stopped in Alabama, saw the USS Alabama. It's a decommissioned battleship. And they also had a small submarine there. It was decommissioned. We checked all that shit out, It was fun. The Cog Railway is in New Hampshire. Okay. All right, Sparky, thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you later. And good night to you, sir. So, anyway, back to train stuff. We've been doing pretty good with train shit here lately, right? I mean, I know you guys like talk about other things too, and that's cool. It don't matter to me, but I gotta get the trains running again. There's still, this drop down, like I said, I gotta run power to it. And that's not that big of a deal, but I just haven't had a chance to do it. At some point I'll get to it, and you run trains again, on Thursday nights, but that's like been low on my priority scale right now. That's cool, Thomas. We get CSX been running through here on the Sugar Line lately. Usually late at night. Comes around 10, 11, 12 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's a long train too, because that thing will rumble the ground for like 20, 30 minutes, So I don't know what the hell they're hauling, but it's a big train. But they don't run during the day because the Sugar Line runs during the day, so I guess they run at night because they technically own the Sugar Line, CSX does. But they've got some sort of lease agreement with the Sugar Line or U.S. Sugar, and they get like priority during the day. I haven't been out there rail fanning lately either. Me and Deb were going to the grocery store the other day, and we just left at the wrong time. It was like 9:30 in the morning. And the Sugar Line was doing some, switching right there in the crossing. Because they have a small yard behind it. It's like 6 different sidings. And I noticed they had 2 new engines. Well, I don't know if they were new, but 2 newly painted locomotives. One was an SD45, and the other one looked like a It could have been an SD40. It was slightly different. But they had a new paint scheme on them, which I've got to get some photographs of that, some video of it. So at some point, I'm going to buy an SD40, or SD45 rather, and an SD40 tunnel motor, because they have both of them. They've been out buying new shit, and I mean, well, the locos aren't new, they're new to the sugar line. But they've been buying new tanker cars, open, they call them, yeah, I can't think of the names of them right now, but they've been buying a lot of new cars. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of new stuff on the line. They even got a shitload of gondolas. They never had them before, now they do. Then they got these other weird cars. I'll have to get a picture of them. I might have to design one and print them out. I'm not even sure what they're called. They look like flat cars, but they're not. They've got like, I don't know what the hell you'd call them, like toolboxes on them, but really big ones, you know. I'll have to take pictures of it sometime and show you guys. I don't know what they're called. I think they got like 10 of them things. So they're really growing, you know. So I said I need to get out there and do some rail fanning. I just haven't had a chance. Too damn hot, you know. That's something I'd rather do in the wintertime, and it's a lot cooler. What's my print doing back there? Still got a ways to go. The incline in Chattanooga is cable driven. It's pretty cool to get to the top and watch all the motors and cables running, plus some neat history at the top of the mountain. Yeah, I know that. I mean, there's no way it would stay on the track otherwise. It couldn't get I mean, the incline's like this practically, you know. And the weird thing is, the locomotive and the cars are all angled, so you're sitting upright in them, but the cars are like, they're at an angle like this, you know. I mean, I don't have a passenger car, but they're literally going up the mountain like so. But the seats are positioned to where you're actually sitting normal. It's fucking cool as shit. But I don't trust things with cables. That's why I've never been on a cable car either, for the same reason. Be my luck, the damn cable would snap the day I decide to take a ride on it. We're not going there, you know. Like I said, I have a really bad fear of heights. It's actually gotten worse since I had the stroke. I had some control over it before then. Now I got none. So that's something I watch from a distance. It is cool though. So what else we got going on here? I got the place somewhat cleaned up. Well, not really. I mean, there's still a big mess everywhere. My work areas are fairly clean to some degree. I mean, I'm getting better at putting things away when I get done with them, you know. Then there's some things where you just haven't really found a home for them yet, but I will. And like I said, there's so many things that I've got to do. I've got rail cars to work on, you know, change out couplers. I got some of my printed stuff that I need to paint. There's just a ton of shit to do, you know. I got to print up more bumpers too, the bumper stops. I had a whole bunch of them, you know, I painted them yellow. And I used them all up. I need a few more. So I'm going to go ahead and paint some more of them up. And I think I'm going to use the A1 to do it. I'm finding that A1 prints some really good smaller stuff. I haven't used the resin printer in forever, you know. I've got resin, though. I just haven't had a need to use it. Go figure, right? But I prefer the filament printer anyway. You can see it just kicking ass back there. That's still one of the best printers I ever owned. Knock wood, you know. Instead of fence material I did, I went ahead and switched over to the .2 millimeter print head because it's so easy to change them. It didn't really make a difference on the quality, but it did half the time or double the time to print it. So you can drive to the top but don't know which road it is. It won't be as steep, that's for damn sure, right? You know, I've done mountain driving, you know, I mean racing actually. I was in West Virginia, was it West Virginia? Yeah, West Virginia. And I was racing a guy downhill. I had my 65 Malibu at the time, and I damn near burned up my brakes, but we were flying, man. And I'll tell you what, one mistake, you're dead. You know, you're going over the edge. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't beat the guy, he beat me, but his car was set up more for mountain racing than mine was. I had to be careful because, you know, I was power sliding around some of the curves. And like I said, one mistake and that'd be it. You know, you're dead. So, but I was right on his ass the whole time. If my car had better suspension and was set up for mountain driving, I'll bet I could have took him. Yeah, I definitely had a faster car, but it just wasn't really built for that type of driving, you know. It was my first time racing down a mountain too, you know. That was like fucking 30 miles or something like that, man. It was an experience without a doubt. Back in the good old days. So, let's see what else I got going on here. Amazingly, I haven't really run into too many problems. I mean, usually whenever I take on something, there's some difficulty or unforeseen problem. So far, I haven't had that issue, you know, knock wood. When they first opened it, it would stop up and down to take people home, so they didn't have to drive the road. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, James. Wondered if you were going to show up. Yeah, you made it. You missed all the fun. Had 2 videos I'd shown, the t-shirt picture. You'll have to watch the replay. It's pretty good, I thought. So. Yeah, we just been talking about this and that train-wise. Actually talking about trains, believe it or not. Printing and that sort of thing. I'm trying to think, what the hell? Yeah, you were asking about, not James, but I think Derek was asking, or Ray was. I do have 2 static steam locomotives. They do technically run. They were kits. They're strictly DC. And I don't even think you can make them DCC because they're like ancient. But I got a deal on, I think I bought 3 kits, and but I only wound up building 2 of them. I think the other kit was missing 20 parts. James, we had our annual cactus parade tonight. That's cool. What's a cactus parade? Sounds cool anyway. So I built them. I figured they make good static locos and tenders. And I've got them up where the turntable is. Hey, Ray Gigliotti, how you doing? A little late? Yeah, it's all right, man. You'll have to watch the replay. You missed all the good stuff. I ran 2 videos of me actually doing something in here. And I got the here, check out this t-shirt, man. I don't know where you get one in from. I'd like to get one though. I just love shit like that. But James says I finished my track changes yesterday. Video soon. Cool. So what did you do? Did you make a bunch of changes on your layout, did you? I know you said you got a bunch of turnouts that you ordered and they came in. It'd be interesting to see what you did. Well, I'm not putting a door up, but I do want to finish that. I'm going to put, I'm going to frame it. I've got the two sides up. I still got to put the top piece up and then the trim around the outside. I just haven't had the money. I was planning on doing it this month, and I pushed it back to next month. We'll see. Move turnouts, added. Oh, there you go. Okay. So I was going to put a door in there at first, but I don't see the need to have a door. It's short. Said, Sparky's coming to visit at the end of the month, and he's like over 6 foot tall. He's going to have to bend over real down to get through there. I'm 5'6", and I don't have to bend down, but it just gets through there, just barely. And that was just easier to do it that way. And you put in a main for the passenger train. That's cool. That's what I did because originally I was going to share one of the mains with the passenger train and the freighter. I thought that's kind of stupid. It's not really, but for me it was. So I added an extra. That's why I decided to do the overhead rail, and that's the passenger train. It was a workable solution. I said, sure, why not? And I've got the motorman to automate it. I just haven't put it in yet. I'll get around to it at some point. Like I said, I don't want to jump around too much. I want to finish a project and then move on to the next one. So maybe I'll do the motorman next after I finish that back there. And then after the motorman, I've got to get the helix tip out built. That's important. Because right now, I've got no power on the second level. I've got the bus lines in and stuff. I still got to drop feeders. But I have no way to get up there. So I got to build a tip out outside and then punch through the wall, top and bottom, and have like a 4-level helix to be able to get up and out. So the helix will be approximately 4 foot in diameter. Because I'm only going to run, I'm thinking maybe 26-degree curves. I was going to do 30, but I don't know if I really need to do 30 or not. As Tom Grassi said, it's easier to use these separate curved track, than it is to use the flex track. The flex track is hard to get consistent curvature with it. And I have to agree with them on that. And I think the largest diameter you can get is 26. So I'll buy 26-degree curves, and I'm only going to run one layer, one track, because there's no reason to need two, because A, there isn't going to be that much traffic on it, and B, it will simplify things. So, unless of course I change my mind last minute, you never know. We'll see how that goes, but so yeah, I want to get that done so I could connect top and bottom, because I got all my tracking at the top. I just got to drop feeders, and of course I have to drop a ton of feeders on the yard, because I think I've got 6 or 7 lanes up there, and I've got room to add one more. So I'm going to use up all the space I got, because basically I have like 150 train cars. at least. And I'm sure I'll get more down the road or print more or whatever. So, right now there's barely enough room for all of them. Don't ask me why I have so many, They're mostly box cars, but I want to get more flat cars, which I could print. And maybe some well, I've got a bunch of gondolas too. Tankers I'd like to have more of. I think I counted my tanker. I got 9 of them, which is still not bad, I think 7 of them are scale trains and the others are off-brand. And I got to change all the couplings on those too, because the ones that come with the scale trains, even though they're the rivet counters, well, some of them are, their couplings suck. They just don't hold together. And they're plastic. Who the hell puts plastic couplers on a model train? Fucking stupid. As I said, I got a ton of shit to do. But before I get too much into the cars, I want to try and get all the scenery done on the layout. Or most of it anyway. I want to get backgrounds put in. I've got background buildings on this wall on the right hand side. I want to get lights in all of them. I got to do backgrounds on the left wall, just on the bottom for now. I don't know. I probably won't do them on the top. I'll just leave that. But there's a lot to be done. Like I said, I'm going to take each area after I finish the one, move to the next one, size it up. Do I want to change it? Do I want to leave it as it is? Do I want to modify it, detail it out more, add more things to it, subtract things? I don't know. I still have to look at everything on a case-by-case thing. So, yeah, I'll get it. It'll be fun. Right now, this is the biggest project I've probably done since I started this layout. All right, James, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. So, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm really going all out on it. And that's fine, I needed to do that anyway. In a lot of ways, I'm kind of competing with Crooked Dave. And I tell you, he's good. It's going to be tough to keep up with. He's done on his layout so far. Every time he does a scene, man, it's just like, holy shit. He's really good at it. I mean, probably way better than I am, so. But if I can come close, I'll be happy. And plus, I need to, think outside the box, too. Like, and I don't want to copy any of his stuff, really, but I might. I like his lottery sign that he's got, The only difference is I would light mine up, And maybe even put a digital display on there so I could change the winning numbers, Like I said, I could always go a little bit bigger, And I know how to do that stuff, so why not, But it looked good on his layout, and I said, that'd be cool to have. And then there's other things that I'm not interested in, duplicating on his, but like I don't have a fuel depot. I probably should have one, but I don't have one. And I don't even know where I'd put it if I did have one. They have to be up on the second level because there's no room on the bottom level. So, who knows? So like I said, you got, a fuel depot, a sanding facility. There's a lot of stuff you could put in there, I've got the room up top to do a lot of it, though. Like I said, the back wall, I've got the intermodal right now. I've got the big oil tanks on the right corner in the back. I don't really have anything on the left corner. Hey Jim, I told you I'd be back after eating 1.5 pounds of. Holy shit, man. You must be stuffed. But it was good though, wasn't it? You know. I get pre-made patties from Omaha Steaks, and they're not that big. I don't know what they are actually, but they're probably 1/8 pound maybe. Now I'm fat and sleepy. There you go. I'm glad you're back anyway. Of course, you missed all the good shit, so you'll have to watch a replay at your convenience, I guess. After you've had a good nap or a night's rest. Beef is the real meat. Hell yeah, it is. As I said, I'm on a carnivore diet, which is mostly meat, beef. I try and have steak every Sunday. I have hamburgers during the week for dinner. And all beef hot dogs for lunch. No fillers. And that's what I've been, and I'll tell you, it's been good for me apparently. My cholesterol went down to just below normal, which is good. I don't feel bad. I feel pretty decent most of the time. I still eat some carbs, but not that much because, I'm diabetic. But yeah, meat's the way to go. And the fucking doctors, they get all pissed off because I refuse to take a statin for, cholesterol. I tried them once, and I'm one of them ones that get that muscle issue. And I said, nah, we're not going there, When the side effects are worse than the benefits, you just don't do it. So at the time, they said, well, you have high cholesterol. I said, no, I don't. I get blood work every 3 months. I learned how to read all that shit, my cholesterol was like 4 points over normal. Big deal, I think normal was like 124. Mine was like 128. I mean, it is nothing, Part-time vegetarian, you a vegan? At least you eat some meat. You need meat. Meat's good for you. I mean, vegetables probably are too, but I'm a non-vegetarian. I don't eat vegetables. Except for carrots, about the only thing I'll eat. Anyway, I go to the doctor, and they say, well, you need to take a statin. No, I don't. They don't work for me. They don't work for anybody. I don't want fucking dementia or Alzheimer's down the road. I ain't taking them. Well, fuck you, And my cholesterol's not that high. Yeah, chicken and fish is good. So he says, well, you had a stroke and a heart attack. Yeah, so what? He said, well, cholesterol can cause more problems. No, it won't. Because they have nothing to do with each other. And you fucking know it, And they've proven there's no correlation between the two. So I went back 3 months later. My cholesterol's below normal, which is good, Not much, like a couple of points. And they're looking at it going, I don't understand. How could your cholesterol be down? Because I'm on a fucking carnivore diet. That's why. Yeah, well, that'll raise you. Not everybody. And my dad would look at meat and his cholesterol would go through the roof. Seriously. I said, I have been eating meat my entire life. Not a big deal. Had a Vietnamese catfish sandwich for lunch. That's interesting. How do you know it was Vietnamese? It could have been from anywhere. I've never had catfish. I hear it's good to eat, but I've never had the opportunity to eat it. So, I said, look, I didn't take your stupid statins. My cholesterol's actually better than normal. So, fuck you. They don't like me at the doctor's office because I always give them a bunch of shit, because they're wrong most of the time. It's like, hey, you got to get your A1C down. I said, I'm diabetic. Okay? It's not going to be normal. He said, well, you got to get it down to 7. I said, 7 would be normal. I'm diabetic. It's never going to get that low. It just won't, Well, you got to do it. I said, well, it ain't happening, so, deal with it. Usually hovers around 9, which is Not terrible, not great, but not terrible. At one point it was 11, that was bad. So, I started watching a little bit better how I eat, but I said, I'm diabetic. I said, I'm not going to see perfect numbers. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to starve myself because if I don't eat enough, it actually causes bigger problems. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you know what? When it's my time to die, I'm dying, 'Cause I should have died a long time ago. Fatal heart attacks, stroke, I had guns pointed to my head a few times. Still here, Caught the deadly flu back in the 70s that killed a shitload of people. Survived that. Not my time yet, man. But when it is, I'm going to be going. Well, we don't look at things like that. Well, I don't care how the fuck you look at them. You don't know shit anyway. That doctor, like you said, the kidney doctor, well, you're going to need a kidney transplant. No, I don't. Yeah, you do, really. No, I don't. 3 months later, go back. He said, I don't know how you did it. Your kidneys are a lot better now. You won't need a transplant. Duh. Catfish is good. Used to fish for them all the time where I used to live. I've fished them. I've caught many. Especially like the walking catfish. You ever seen them? We had a bunch of them down in Naples many years ago. After a good rain, them fucking things would be crawling through the yards and everything else. I'd never seen one before. Like, what the fuck? Fish are walking catfish, man. They're cool. I never tried to eat one, though. We tried to keep one as a pet because we had fish and tropical fish, and I assume that they're fresh water because, they were out there in the rain. We put them in the freshwater tank, and by morning, the fucking thing would have jumped out, We'd have to go search around the house. We'd find them in a corner somewhere, covered with carpet fuzz. It was kind of funny. He was still alive, Take them in the sink, wash them off, throw them back in the tank, and he'd repeat and rinse. Every night he'd jump out of it, They were fun to play with, Only got finned once. That hurt, The fucking the dorsal fin. It's got that needle on it. That fucking hurts. The Vietnamese place really dresses the sandwich up nice. Okay, that's cool. I would try it. I mean, I've had shark, I've had dolphin, had swordfish, that was good. I've eaten a lot of different fishes over the years. It's so expensive now I can't afford to eat it. We used to eat at restaurants, I used to eat blackened fish, that was good. There was a restaurant in Bonita Springs that served it. I used to go there every weekend and order some, man. That shit was good. But, like you said, now it's just, even to buy it in the grocery store is expensive as shit. I can't afford to eat it, How about fish and sushi? I've never had sushi. I'm leery about eating sushi. I mean, you gotta have a lot of trust in whoever prepares it because it could be deadly, And I don't know. I mean, I don't really eat a lot of raw foods. And they say it's good, but I don't know. How about jellyfish? No dumb question. Can you eat jellyfish? I didn't think you could. I've never had it, I remember we used to go over to Miami when I was a kid, and they had those man of wars in the Atlantic Ocean, They looked like a blue balloon, but below it was the actual dead. And they fuck you up, man. I mean, if you got stung, you'd know it. I never went near one, but John says, I've had jellyfish ray Chinese style. I really didn't know you can eat those. The question is, why would you eat them? That's like eating octopus or squid. No way. I remember going to my uncle's house, and they were Italian too. One holiday, it was Christmas, and they had fucking octopus. I can't remember what it's called in Italian, but I ain't eating that shit. And I didn't eat it. Everybody else did, but I wasn't eating it. Yeah, I've read that too, Ray, the puffer fish, but you gotta be careful of them. They'll kill you too. Is that like the cartoon with the singing frog? Hello, my baby. Maybe. I've never had frog legs either. Only because I felt bad for the frog. Frogs have a hard time hopping without big, their rear legs. I'm kidding, of course, but I would probably try. I've had gator tail. Had wild hogs. I mean, generally, if it's meat, I'll eat it. And same with fish. I mean, a lot of the fish out there is good. But I'm not, like, I've had shrimp and lobster and crab. They were okay, but, you're really not supposed to eat bottom feeders. Because, they eat the shit on the bottom of the ocean. That's why I don't eat mushrooms. Mushrooms growing shit, I ain't eating them. I remember seeing a Hawaii Five-0 episode about the poison puffer fish. I think I remember that one too. Vaguely. Ray says salmon and tuna sushi is your safe bet, as well as albacore, tuna, eel, and mackerel. I've had mackerel before. We used to catch mackerel at the Naples Pier. About the only thing I could catch, I've never had eel. And I'm not a big tuna fan either. Especially the other kind. Like I said, but I don't have the patience to fish anymore, and that's the problem. It's cooked with barbecue sauce. That's cool. Yeah, I've gone fishing in the past, but like I said, I don't really have the patience for it, If I'm not, I remember one time we went for mullet, in one of the, it was at the marina in Bonita Springs. We were kind of basically fly fishing for them, or whatever you'd call it. You take your thing and you'd fucking cast out, and you'd get one every time. We filled up 2 5-gallon buckets in like 20 minutes full of mullet. It's holy shit, this is the way to fish. I call it snag fishing. I don't know what it's called, but they just boom, and you'd hit one. And we've been in like creeks, like out in the woods, where the mullet hung out. And we'd net fish them. It was illegal. We did it anyway, You'd throw a net in there, you'd pull up like fucking 50 of them, Oh, we're eating good through the next week, And I liked mullet. It was good fish to eat. And it was clean, But like I said, that was a long time ago. I haven't done that in forever. And I don't know if I trust the water anymore anyway, especially up where I live here now, Sebring. I do like fish though, but like I said, it's just too expensive to go to a restaurant and buy it. And even in the stores, it's expensive. Hell, fucking steak has gotten ridiculous, man. I buy the shit on sale, They had BOGO in Winn-Dixie. Buy one, get one. It wasn't too bad. I bought 2 packs. They were small steaks. Little, briskets or something like that. I don't know. They're cheap steaks. But, for the price, it couldn't go wrong. But if you wanted like a T-bone or filet mignon, well, man, you're talking some big fucking dollars, They had the filet mignon, I think, I was going for like $30 a pound or something. It was expensive, man. It was ridiculous. They had like a package of it like this, and you still had to clean all the fat off of it. And really, there was a lot of fat. And it was like $70 fucking dollars. I'm going, I ain't buying that, Be nice, but it ain't happening. Yeah, the food as a whole is outrageous. We were in Publix yesterday. Well, yesterday, day before, I don't remember. No, it was yesterday. I spent $45. I got like 5 items, man. You know. I bought a couple of packages of the French fries, the designer ones. I bought a 6-pack of the glass Cokes, little bottles, these ones here. That was outrageous. But I like these, they're good for you. Well, I don't know if they're good for you or not, but it is Mexican Coke. Glass bottle, made with cane sugar. And they really won't hurt you like, normal shit does. But $10 for a 6-pack, man. I'll buy them once in a while, but that's crazy money. I mean, and I'll limit myself to one every couple of days. The burgers I grilled tonight are farm beef, so I know who it was raised. Oh, that's cool, yeah. If I had the money, I got the room, sorta. I mean, I could have a full cow here. There's enough, I got enough land from the graze on, just one. But I couldn't afford to buy one, a few $1,000s. I mean, Deb, she said, well, why don't we buy a cow? I said, you know what they cost? You ain't gonna get one in for a couple $100. You're looking at a few $1,000s, man. And she said, well, how about if we just get a goat instead? I said, I ain't buying no fucking goat, We got chickens, we got cats. We just got another dog. My stepdaughter, she got a dog up in Michigan. Beautiful little, it's a miniature Australian collie, I think it is. Beautiful dog, female. It's only 6 months old. It's tiny, smaller than Pogo. And she bought it, and I don't know why I bought it. She says, I don't want to give it up. She says, she asked my wife, do you want it? So I jumped on it, I said, Dad, how many fucking animals are we going to have here, Well, this will be my dog. I said, all right, fine. So Alexander actually got on a plane the other day, flew down to Naples, Fort Myers, rented a car, brought the dog over, and then turned around, went back, and flew back up there. And it cost her about $1,000, probably. And holy shit, must be nice to have that much money to throw away on a fucking dog. Beautiful dog, though. I mean, and she's really well mannered and very smart, so I think Deb will be real happy with it. So that makes, now we have 4 dogs in the house, 3 cats inside, 3 cats outside. I don't know how many fucking chickens we got. I think we got over 20 of them. I'm not sure. It's no more fucking animals. We got enough animals, man. So this is an address sandwich. Got this as the cartoon it reminded me of. I can't open it up right now, but I'll check it out later. John says the problem with cattle is they need everyday attention. Same with most. That's true. You gotta feed them. You gotta make sure they're, clean, watered, everything. I mean, there's a lot of shit involved in it. And Deb's already got her hands full just with the chickens, and the dogs, and the cats. And her food bill for them things is nuts, man. Oh, I agree, Ray. I love dogs, man. I mean, I'm not a big fan of cats, but I mean, they're okay, So we have 3 indoor cats. One's sort of mine, Callie, the calico. And the other 2 are Deb's. And then, of course, I've got Pogo's my dog. Barron's kind of chose me. He's the old dog we just recently got at the pound. So, it's crazy, but, they do get expensive. I mean, you got to get, flea medicine for them. I don't really do the shots. I don't believe in the shots. An indoor dog doesn't need a rabies shot, I mean, the first time, yes, but after that, they should be good for life. Cats were created in a laboratory Really? No, that's not true. Cats have been around since the beginning of time. The ancient Egyptians worshipped them as almost like gods. But, like I said, they're okay, you know. They're aloof, though. You know, they like, you know, feed me and leave me the fuck alone. You know. Where your dog, on the other hand, feed me, I want to play with you, you know, hang on, I want to snuggle up with you and shit. Dogs are cool, you know, because they're like us. Cats, on the other hand, are like that frigid bitch you don't want nothing to do with, you know. And she don't want nothing to do with you. Unless, you know, she wants something, like food. I don't mind. Like I said, I own the house, you know. We're not going anywhere, hopefully. I mean, unless one of us dies. But, you know, I mean, they're fun, you know. They actually bring the house. They bring life to the house. They really do. You know. In New Jersey, you cannot get a dog license unless you show the dog has rabies shots. Well, that's true in Naples, because we had to license them down there. So I had to get the dogs their shots every 3 years. Here in Highlands County, Sebring, they don't have a dog license. When I got Pogo, I called the county. I says, you know, I need to get a license for my dog. And they go, what are you talking about? I says, don't you have to have a license for a dog? I mean, no, we don't do that. We don't care. Okay, cool. So no license, no rabies shot, right? Solves that problem. I mean, he got his shots when he was a pup. He's not really outdoors. I mean, he is with me. We don't really have any rabid animals around here that I'm aware of. You know, when I had Turbo before he passed, he bit my stepdaughter's twins. We bit each one of them, right? Not real badly, but, you know, he didn't like being bothered by kids. We didn't realize it at the time. So, of course, you know, she called animal control and they came by and I said, well, he's got his shots, you know. Oh, it don't matter. I said, what do you mean it don't matter? Well, the shots don't actually it doesn't guarantee he doesn't have rabies. Then why are we getting the shots? Well, it's the law, sir. But if it doesn't guarantee anything, it's a stupid law, you know. And they tell you that's a fact. If you can get your dog your shots every 3 years, 1 year, whatever, no guarantee the dog still won't have rabies. So what the hell good is it? They do have a test. It's called a shit. I can't remember the name now. There's a test they can take to see if the rabies shot took, and the dog is actually safe. I don't remember what it's called, but it costs money to get it, so I don't waste my time with it. But I said if it was an outdoor dog, I'd say okay, rabies shot's important. You know, I don't think because that's one of those things where they just make a ton of money on. Tom, up in New Jersey, I think, at least New York anyway, they have a 5-year rabies shot. Okay? You don't have a 5-year down here. The best you can get is 3. And the reason being is because it's about the money, you know. But they say if it's a titer shot, that's what it's called. Titer. A titer test, rather. You can do a titer test on the dog to see if the rabies shot is actually effective or not. And if the dog is effective, if it's effective, you never have to give it to him again. It's like a one-time deal if it works. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't matter how many times you give it to him, it won't work. So that's what I'm saying. And you think they would do that rather than, well, it's about the money, needlessly fucking inject the dog. And there's a lot of other things I don't get either. I don't board the dog, so I didn't have to. I mean, he had all his shots when he was a pup, but, you know, I don't do the yearly or bi-yearly or whatever it is, the Bordatello, and there's a whole bunch of different shots you get. And they're finding out that those shots actually shorten the dog's life. Well, fuck that, you know. I love my dog rather than I don't want to kill him with a bunch of fucking vaccines. They probably don't do anything anyway. So he got everything he needed as a pup, and we're good to go. I have to get a tetanus shot every time I go to the hospital. I got one once. I'm allergic to them. When I was a kid, I think I was like 5 years old. I remember it vaguely. My dad was putting a new roof on the house up in Jersey. And of course, they just threw the lumber on the ground, and I'm walking around barefoot. I put a fucking 6-penny nail right up in my fucking heel. They had to take me and the board to the hospital, have it removed. Of course, they gave me a rabies shot because it was a rusty nail. And I don't remember what the side effect was, but they said I'm allergic to it, and I could never take another one. So, every time I go to the hospital, you allergic? Yep, rabies, or tetanus and penicillin. I can't take either one. Okay. John says the Australian red at the farm bites anyone who shows up unannounced. We have to keep his rabies shots up, plus he hangs out with the cows a lot. Well, that makes sense. Ray says I keep calling it a Tetris shot. That's a whole different ballgame there, Tetris. And chances are the one I got, I've never gotten, one of the things you get from tetanus, if you contract this from rusty metal, is lockjaw. Be honest with me, if any of you guys in your entire lives ever met someone that had lockjaw from tetanus? I never have. I don't know if you'd die or not if you had it, but the famous Soviet video game, there you go. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of shit that, I've been tested for a lot of, when I worked at the golf course, because we had it was like a mini hospital on premises, and we were working around old people. We had to get the, what the hell is that called? I just said the word today, too. They get it from Mexico. It's a disease you can get. Tuberculosis. We had to get TB tested every year. I got tested every year. Obviously, I don't have it. A lot of the Mexicans, they had it, though. They were immediately let go if they had it because, it could be deadly to old people. I'm not a big fan of any of that shit. I really aren't, If you take care of yourself and you live normal, you should be fine, And, people at my age, you guys all at my age, we played in the dirt. We probably ate some dirt, We played with bugs. We did all that shit. And all that shit actually built up our immunity to a lot of problems. The kids today, they're brought up in a sterile environment. They're always sick. And the slightest thing will kill them, I have refused tetanus shots for 30 years. And I get cut up at the farm a lot, especially fixing fences. I don't blame you. Look, I had my ex-girlfriend. She had 2 daughters. She wouldn't let them kids play outside. Oh, they'll get, they'll play in the dirt. They'll get sick. No, they won't. They'll be fine. They need to play in the dirt. They need to eat some bugs. They need to be normal kids, Let them fucking live. You're not helping them. If you keep them in a sterile environment, when they do get out in the real world, and they will at some point, they're going to be sick all the time. Hell, simple shit might kill them. Amazingly, the woman listened to me, and she started letting her kids go out and play and stuff. But of course, she was Jewish, and I don't know if it's a Jew thing or not, but they seem to think that we got to protect our kids from everything. No, you don't. You got to expose them to everything. Ray says, when I got in an accident years ago, they wanted to do a CAT scan of my head. I told them no cats, they're just pictures of locomotives. Ray. That's funny, though. I've got a CAT scan a few times of my head, believe it or not. And the only problem with CAT scans is they use radiation. Each CAT scan is the equivalent of 30 chest x-rays. I'm surprised I wasn't glowing when I got out of there, but, and I've had MRIs too. I'm not claustrophobic. It was a little weird being, in a closed machine like that. It was loud, They did give me earplugs though. Because all you hear is clonk, 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 zzz, clonk. Weird fucking thing. I wouldn't get one now because of my pacemaker, but I prefer the CAT scan. I figure it's a little safer. But yeah, they're radiating the shit out of you, I don't know why they can't come up with a machine that could do these things without fucking you up, It can't be good to radiate somebody, man. I don't think anyway, All the time I was in school, we were taught one thing about radiation. Radiation is bad for humans, Any kind of radiation. Okay. So now they want to radiate you everywhere you go. I remember my grandfather gave me his old watch, his wristwatch. And back in those days, they actually used radioactive material on the numbers and on the hands for the glow-in-the-dark part. And, I didn't do it, but, I remember reading somewhere down the road years later, don't lick the hands or the numbers on the watch because you would get minor radiation poisoning. Well, first off, I wouldn't lick the fucking numbers or the hands of a watch. That's just stupid, Maybe somebody would. But, because you'd have to take it apart to do it anyway. But still, why do they even, and the people that worked in the factories that made the watches, a lot of them died of radiation poisoning because they were handling that shit all day, every day. Weird. Of course, now they don't use them when they have, glow-in-the-dark paint, which is not radioactive, I remember the first time I took apart a smoke detector, and it had the radiation symbol on it. I'm going, what the fuck? And there was a warning on it: do not open this. Radiation, possible radiation contamination could take place. I went in the trash right now, I don't think there was enough there to really hurt you, but who knows? John says I had a CAT scan about 20 years ago. I had tunnel vision. After 24 hours in the hospital, they said it was a visual migraine. Never happened again. Never heard of that. Did you have tunnel vision before or after the CAT scan? I know when I did the CAT scan, even the MRI, it fucked with my eyes. Yeah, you got your eyes closed when you're in the machine, but like you can see shit, like stars underneath your eyelids. It really affected my eyes. Didn't do any permanent damage. Kind of scared me a little bit though, And I had my eyes checked before I got the cataract surgery. That was 8 or 9 years ago. Down in Naples, they did a CAT scan on my eyes. It was a more localized thing. You stick your face in the machine, and it would, and there's the radiation. It actually fucked up my vision for 2 weeks. And when I complained about it, he said, well, that's normal. It's not dangerous. And then it fucks up your vision for 2 weeks. Can't be good for you. And I will never let them do it again. You had the tunnel vision first, okay. Anytime I ever had tunnel vision, I was on the back of a motorcycle with my friend doing 130 miles an hour at night downtown Naples, and we actually got, he said he did too, I actually got tunnel vision where everything's going by so fast your field of vision narrows. You couldn't see anything beside, just in front. It was weird, First time I ever gone that fast on a motorcycle too. I wasn't operating, I was a passenger. I was ready to kill that motherfucker. I said, you ever do that shit again, you won't have to worry about getting in a wreck. I will fucking end your life anyway. You're doing that shit with me on the back. And he was trying to race a fucking Porsche. We won, he had a Yamaha 650 with an 850 bore kit in it. It was fairly quick. he was a big guy. He weighed like 300 pounds. I was thin. I weighed like about 160, but the two of us on the bike, it only did 130. That was it. I think for a normal person, it probably would have done about 150, 160. That fat ass, so he'd slow it down. Could have been a visual migraine. No, it wasn't a visual migraine. Like you said, I wasn't drinking or anything else. It was just, and they say that happens when you go fast enough. Your vision, like, it narrows somehow. I don't know. It's weird. I never heard of a visual migraine. That's weird. I had an ex-girlfriend, another one. She used to get regular migraines. They were bad. They were so bad, she had to go into like the bathroom and turn the lights off and just sit there quietly for an hour or two. Otherwise, she was, maybe that's what that was, a visual migraine. Because she had to be in the dark, The light just fucking killed her. She never talked about tunnel vision, but she might not have known what it was either. Who knows? Thank God I never had that problem. I mean, if you're having something like that, there's something wrong with you, Just because they don't know what it is doesn't mean that isn't something wrong. I had tunnel vision once, never dated her again. There you go. Ray. I don't know. Like I said, I've been lucky, knock wood, I sort of. I mean, I said the stroke was bad. I mean, I wasn't really worried or scared, but I didn't know whether I was going to live or die. I really didn't. When I was in the hospital, I asked the neurosurgeon. I said, am I going to live through this? Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Okay. I really wasn't worried about it. Just curious, in case I was going to die, I wanted to kind of have a heads up on it, I don't know why. Not like I could do anything about it. But, like I said, I really had no fear. It was kind of strange, but, like you said, I think maybe you're in shock or something, and just, you act differently. I don't know, Like I said, when I had the guy pointed a gun at 38 at my head, I thought for sure I was dead, and I was only 17 years old, I'm thinking, shit, man, you're going to fucking die right now, And I was scared shitless. But I wouldn't show that son of a bitch any fear, I looked him dead in the eye and said, you do what you got to do, And he was mad because he didn't, he wanted me to beg and cry and all that shit. I ain't giving you the satisfaction. You're going to kill me anyway. Just fucking do it, I'm not going to fucking beg for my life and then you kill me anyway. Just make myself look stupid. And die with some, dignity. Of course, like you said, it was a starter pistol. I didn't know that. It looked real to me. 38 revolver, But as scared as I was, like I said, I wouldn't show it, But that's what he wanted. He wanted me to beg for my life and start crying and all other shit. It ain't gonna happen. He got mad, pulled the gun back, jumped in his truck, and took off, you motherfucker, And I'm like, holy shit, I survived. I don't know how, right? But it is what it is, So, I try not to think about death too much, It's bad enough when you get up in age, you start thinking about all of it, Because, in your mind, you figure, well, I could die at any time. I mean, you could die at any time regardless of how old you are, But you really don't think about it when you're young. Because when you're young, you think you're, what's the word for it? Indestructible. You're immortal, So when I was 18, I did a lot of stupid shit, man. I didn't think I could die. But especially after surviving somebody, near disasters where I should have died. But yeah, it is what it is. But I don't know. My wife's always like, she says, I'm afraid to die. I said, well, we're all afraid to die. Even if you say you're not, you're lying. I think to some degree everybody's afraid because you don't know what's next. It's going to be painful. It's going to be nothing. You're going to go to heaven. You're going to go to hell. Who knows. And I have no idea myself either. I don't know what'll happen. I said I did die on the operating table when I had the big heart attack, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was. But I was only dead for a few seconds, and the pacemaker, restarted my heart. I remember blacking out. I didn't see anything. I didn't see the tunnel of light or any of the other stuff. Maybe I wasn't dead long enough. I don't know. Either way, it was nothingness, man. It was like, But I was aware. I mean, sort of, I don't know. It's a tough. I don't know. And hopefully I don't have to worry about it anytime soon. But we're all gonna die at some point, because nobody gets off the planet alive. So we'll have to wait and see. But I've seen people die, and it's like, in most cases it looks pretty peaceful. They just they're gone. So I don't know. Weird shit to be talking about. Anyway, so what else I wanted to talk about? There was something. My chat's been doing weird shit. It's not losing anything, I don't think, but it's like hiccuping. It's weird. Got a good green signal. Everything's good. It's probably OBS. Maybe it's YouTube. Hell, I don't know. My drop frames is down to 0.8%, which is excellent. CPU's running at 9.1%, which is nothing. 30 frames per second, that's good. But on here for 3 hours and 24 minutes. Damn. You have trains running it? No, not yet, John. This drop down over here, it's been a real pain in my neck. See right here, it's in the up position right now. Right there. It lost power. I was using the one guy that Scott Rails. I duplicated what he showed on his video. But even he said that you might have hiccups and you might have to go with conventional wiring. The idea is not have any exposed wires. And it did work for a while, and then, like I said, kind of stopped. So I'm going to have to run a wire on that end from the track, just loop it up over here, and tie into the track on the bottom. So there won't be a lot of wire exposed. Yeah, the gate. And once I get that fixed, then, there's power on the rest of the track, just not there. So I got to get that straightened out. And as I said, it hasn't been a priority because I've been busy working on the other stuff. But at some point, it'll probably take me about 45 minutes to an hour to run 4 wires, 2 for each rail, or 1 for each rail, rather. So I got to do that, and then they'll be operational. I probably don't have power to the sugar line yet. I might have to drop new feeders for that, because I isolated it from the rest of the mains. Because while it was connected to the inside main, I had power going to it, but I disconnected it from the main so that it's a separate track. And hey, Derek. Did you ever think of using a motorized stand-up desk to cover the space so you can raise it up and not have to duck under it? Well, that wouldn't work in this context, no. I've seen one of the guys, I don't remember who it was, he had one that was motorized and it did lift up just the gate. I could probably do it, but I'd have to, it would cost some money. A few $100 probably to get the servos and everything else. Tom says on my land every main has its own bus line, and yeah, see, I didn't do it that way. I'm running a single bus line that covers everything. And I didn't drop as many feeders as I probably should have. But like I said, the sugar line, which was actually connected to the inside main, was already getting power through the turnouts. I removed the turnouts, so it's its own sugar line. It's separate from the mains. So I'm going to have to drop some feeders and tie it into the bus. Circuit breakers really aren't an issue because Digitrax has a built-in circuit breaker. I guess NCE doesn't, but the Digitrax, it does have short circuit protection in it. So if something goes wrong, it shuts the power down to everything. And that's fine, So I didn't have to put any circuit breakers in on anything. Same thing now. The upper bus line will also be connected to the. I'll probably tie it right into the lower bus line too. So because I've only got one booster or one, whatever you call it, one loco net deal there, whatever it's called, DCS 100. If I had boosters, then I would run separate, but. Like I said, I'm trying to keep I don't have an issue with voltage on the track, fortunately. Yeah. It's a 5 amp system. And if it ever does become a problem, I'll probably upgrade to a 10 amp. I did it that way. Yeah, I know, so it won't affect anything else. For me, it's actually easier if everything shuts down, I know I got a short somewhere. Where if you're on separate, you don't really know if you got a short or a dirty track or a bad loco or could be anything, Or if everything goes down, you got a short circuit or a serious loss of power. So I kept it simple. John says, I think I saw a layout recently in someone's garage. He raised and lowered it with a garage door opener and cable. Yeah. I've seen that done too. I saw a guy did that, and he had a bedroom layout, and he had a series of pulleys and motors, so when he wasn't using it, it was over the bed. When he wasn't using it, he raised it up near the ceiling, go to sleep, whatever, and then when he wanted to play, he'd lower it back down on top of the bed. Pretty slick, I don't know if I'd trust something like that over my head. But it was still a cool idea, and the garage idea would be perfect too. But, I mean, I could have, it would have been a problem. Because I was always planning on doing 2 levels. If I wasn't going to do the upper level, but I was, but if I had changed my mind and said, no, it'll be a single level only, I would have raised the lower benches up another 2 foot. And I could have just rolled right under there on a chair. Have you ever seen Tom's Trains and Things? He's got, because it doesn't come out, he's got it's a high crossover. He sits in his little chair, just tips his head down, rolls right under there to get to his computer and stuff. Pretty slick, and I'm thinking I probably should have done that because that's the only way I could do it. And even when I went to his house, I had to do the same way he did it. I couldn't bend down to walk under it because I don't do that anymore, because of the stroke. But like this chair here would be perfect for that. I could have just, tucked my head down and rolled right underneath it. But the bench work would have had to been about another 2 foot taller. Could have done it, but then I couldn't have a second level because I'd never be able to get to it. So I wanted to have a second level, so I set this up a little higher than normal, but not that much, you know. Because the layout I had back in Naples, my benchwork was lower. And one of the problems I had with it, it was still stroke affected. And I had to get underneath there and run wires and shit on some of this stuff. Because when I built it, I didn't have a bus line because I wasn't DCC yet. So I had to add a bus line in afterwards. And it was a real pain in the ass because it was too short to sit up, but too tall to lay on my back. So it was a real new, I had to prop myself up with a box or something, somewhat, to get a little closer to the bottom of the layout. So I made sure I didn't have that problem here. I could sit under here if I had to, And I would have to use probably like a creeper. So I've seen creepers that you can actually sit up in, and I would have to buy one, and I could roll around on the floor and do whatever. Because I can't crawl on anything. I can't be on my knees. Since the stroke, getting on my knees is not, I've had to do it in case I fell, I fell out of my fucking chair the other day, out of this new chair. What I was doing, I was bending down to retrieve a bottle opener. I got a magnetic bottle opener that Tom gave me, Tom Kovichak. I usually have it stuck on my mini fridge, and when I grabbed it, it slipped out of my hand and hit the floor. So, without thinking, I bent down to get it, and the fucking chair kicked out from under me. Which I'd never had that happen before, but it was weird. So I went down, and I had to get the wife to help me get back up. I was stuck on the floor for about a half an hour. First time that's ever happened. It won't happen again because now I know. I didn't get hurt or nothing, but I just can't get up on my own. Mostly because I can't get on my knees. I had to. I said she brought in a heavy chair in, a wrought iron chair, so I can grab it. She held one end down and grabbed my other hand, and I used my left hand and got on my knees to pull myself up. It hurt, to do it. But I did get back up, But normally, if I don't have something to grab, I've been thinking about maybe modifying this room and putting a couple of grab handles here and there. If I've got enough strength in my left hand to pull myself up. I would just have to mount one in the right place, and then I could crawl over to it or slide over to it and use it to pick myself up. It's not something that would normally happen, but if it did, I should be prepared. Yeah, well, that is a good design, Tom, without a doubt. But you're very technical in that respect, and honestly, I would have a tough time doing what you did with your layout. You got a lot of tech in there, man, that I could probably learn how to do, but I don't want to. I want to keep it simple. When shit breaks, and it will, no matter what you do, something will go wrong, and it'll be that much harder to fix, and you've demonstrated that. But you've got a very highly technical layout, man. You've got JMRI, multiple screens. I think you got multiple computers in. That's some serious shit, man, But I tend to keep things as simple as possible. That's like I said, I'm not real big on automation. Not that I don't really like it, but I don't want to get into the technical aspects of it. I could, but I don't want to. So, like I said, I put my dwarf lights in and all that stuff. It's all going to be mechanical, I don't need any electronics to make it work. It'll be very simplified and work in conjunction with the turnout throws, but that's easy to do without any sophisticated electronics, I don't need to know where train cars are. I just got to look. Yeah. Where you actually can see it up on the screen where any one of your cars are. Really cool. But I said I just don't want to get into that. But so yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's tough when you've got a physical restriction. You really have to try and plan around that stuff whenever you're doing anything. Like I said, I never ran a 12-volt bus line on the lower level. I should have. It would have solved a whole bunch of issues. I put a lot of outlets in, wall outlets, but I'm using most of them, for wall warts. If I had a 12-volt bus line, I could have tied everything that's 12 volt right into the bus line, Now I did do that on the upper level. I have a 12-volt bus line and a 14-volt DCC bus line. Already in. I don't have it hooked up to anything yet, but it will be. I converted a PC power supply to provide 12 volts. It's got enough power. It's 650 watts, which is plenty. It'll power everything on the upper level that I need to for 12 volts. And of course the DCC will cover the 14 volt one. But so but they say it was easy for me to get to do that. I didn't have to get on the ground. I didn't have to get up on a ladder. I could just reach under there. I drilled the holes, ran the wires through, good to go. But I should have done it on a lower level, and I should have done it forward. And that, like where I've got a crossing light right over here on the right hand side. It mimics the one that's out here in real life. And what I've got all the electronics behind the fascia. I pulled the fascia piece off, built a tray, got my Arduino board in there, and then the other electronics that needed to be with it, power. And I could get to it easy, If I need to, I just pull a few screws, pull the fascia off, and there it is, the drawer slides out. I could work on it. Which is the right way to do it, But like I said, if I had to put a 12-volt bus line near the front, I could have done the same thing. Pull the fascia off. The line's right there behind the fascia. And I could hook up anything electrical I got, no matter where it is on the bottom of the layout. I should have done it. I'm not doing it now because that's too much fucking work. I don't need more work than I already got. So. Anyway, like I said, that's the way it works. So I've got to get power to the sugar line. So I have to probably drop some feeders on both ends, tie them into the bus line, which is no big deal. And like I said, I got one of those roll around things I bought from Harbor Freight. It's like a garden roll around thing with a seat. You might be able to use that to get underneath the bench work. Because it's adjustable, you can lower it. I'll lower it all the way down so that you slide under there. And it's actually not far from the edge anyway, because I put the bus line close to the front of the bench work so that I would be able to get to it easy enough. That's another thing. If I had to, I could pull the fascia off, and there's the bus line. So I did think I had a little bit. So, whatever it takes, I'll get it done. But because I've got other things I want to, I've got on the upper level, I'm going to space the fascia out. It'll only be about this deep, like 8 or 9 inches, and put spacers behind it. And I'm going to have rheostats to control the turnouts in the yard. It'll be kind of slow motion. You slowly turn the rheostat, and the turnout, the points will slowly turn. It's simple, it'll work, and there's not really any electronics involved with it. So, and I'll run that off the 12-volt bus line. So that's like, because I've got like, I think there's like 10 turnouts up there, or maybe more. There's a lot. So like I said, I'll have the controls on the front of the fascia, and I just turn them to, and then I'll have LED lights, although I don't really need them, but I'll have them to show me whether it's, straight or divergent. So main or divergent, would it be green on the main, red on a divergent. So, and that's easy enough to do, So, like I said, I've got a plan up here for everything, but I'm keeping it as simple as possible. Because I'm just, don't want to get crazy with shit. So, but, and like I said, ultimately, and that's another thing, I have to make sure, because, like, I've got the above ground passenger rail is also tied in to the bus line. I think I have to isolate it from the main bus to use the motorman, because the motorman will work on the entire bus line and it'll do everything the same. I don't want that. It's got to be specific to the above ground rail. So I'm going to have to separate, which is easy enough to do, because I've got the power wires on this end and one on that end, the main powers, so I could pull them right off the bus line. I never dropped feeders anywhere else on the above ground. Don't need them. So, but at least we'll have to probably, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I have to read the instructions more. But I know you do have to divorce it from the bus line. So like I said, at some point, I'm probably going to put the control panel on this side. I'll have to move the air conditioning remote and put it there. Put the air conditioning remote probably further to the right, because this is the best place to put it on this side. It'll be a trick, I'm sure. And then I'm gonna have to get a second one later on for the sugar line. You can't run two trains, two separate mains on the same motor, man. You have to isolate them. So I'll have to get a second motor man to run the sugar line. I'll probably mount it right next to the first one. And those two will be automated. They'll just go back and forth, make their stops, wait, whatever, and then go back the other direction. I won't have to fool with them. So when I flip the main power on, they'll be ready to rock and roll, and I'll just be manually running the two main lines. So hopefully, anyway, hope it all works out. And I need something to drink, man. Old-fashioned ginger ale. So anyway, like I said, that's the big plan, I guess. I want to get that area done first. When it's 100% finished, then I'm either going to do the motorman after that, or I'll do the helix and tip out after that. I'm not sure which one. And I may wait on the tip out because, not that it matters, but we are technically still in hurricane season. I don't think one's going to hit here this year. But, I hate to be halfway through that shit and, get everything destroyed. Because until it's really up there, sealed in, and properly braced, a severe windstorm like a hurricane could damage it. Once the whole thing's finished and secured, I won't worry about it. Because the way I got to design it is, It's going to have 3 doors on it. So basically, I put a frame up, put a door on the right, door on the left, and a door in the front. There'll be access doors. So like I said, they'll be roughly 4 foot wide by probably 3 foot tall. And they'll be latched. They'll actually have a lock mechanism for them. But they'll give you access to the helix, because otherwise you can't get to the helix from in here. You know, the only thing you're going to have is basically a tunnel hole on both levels, top level and bottom level. And the thing about putting a camera in there as well, so I can monitor it, because you wouldn't even be able to see what the hell is going on in there without a camera. That might be a trick too. I don't know yet. But that's the only way it can be done. There's no other way to. You can't put a helix inside. There's not enough room for it. And there's no other way to get to the top except with a helix. That would be, you know, because if I wanted to build a ramp, it would have to be outside. There's no room inside to put a ramp up. And the ramp would literally have to go from one side all the way around to the other side. And you're still looking at roughly about 4 degrees of incline. Maybe 5, you know. And like I said, you'd have to cover it anyway. And that would be a big nightmare, to have it outside and sealed in. So a helix is still the best way to go. I'm not a big helix fan, but it's the only way I can do this. And I have to be able to do it where I have access to all 3 sides of it. No. I guess I could probably do it. Probably don't need the front door, but I'd need 2 side doors. So I get from one side to the other. I could reach in, you know, halfway to the front, the back of it, if I had to. You know. I don't know. I'll have to watch and see how that goes as I build it. And I'll videotape all that shit. You guys are probably going to be in for a treat on that one. Or not, I don't know. So, see what else we got going on. I've been trying to get on the wife to get her thing done. You know, Debbie's Glass and Jar Factory or store, or whatever you want to call it. She's got a lot of work to do. She's really going to, you know, deck it out. And I said, that's cool, though. I said, the more, you know, detail you got, the better. And I said, you know, you can do whatever you want on it. I don't care. No restrictions. But I think she wants to work on a lot of it in the house, even though you got better lighting here. You got a nice work area now, you know. And I don't know what she's going to decide to do, but and like I said, I'm not going to interfere. If she wants help, I'll help her. But, you know, basically, let her do whatever she wants with it, you know. But she's got a pretty creative mind, so let her get creative. And she's got a pretty big area there to work with, so, you know. I did the rough stuff. I got the land ready, the driveways in, parking lot, the building, you know. So really all she's got to do is all the little knickknacks and stuff. And she said she got some pretty cool ideas. So it'll be something to see. Anyway, it's getting to be late here. It's almost 9:10. 9:41. Should probably wrap it up because I'm running out of shit to talk about. And you guys have been pretty quiet there for some reason. I don't know why. Hope I didn't lose my chat. Shouldn't have. So anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me, putting up with my boring videos. And there'll be more to come, so don't worry. I'm sure I'll have another video for you next week. Because I'll get something accomplished in here one way or the other. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate that. Anyway, guys, have a good weekend and be safe. Play with your trains. And hopefully we'll see you next week. And don't forget to flip off that fucking signal guy. I know you're still here. I was messing with you. Alright, guys. Have a good one. Tom, I'll send you that file as soon as I get cleaned up over here. I'll get everything shut down. Because I've got the file in my download folder, so I'll be able to send it right to you for that parts thing there. And so it'll get you going on that. Alright, guys. Have a good one. Here's the outro. Don't forget to flip off the signal guy. Thanks for showing up, man. See you later.